the difference between, I spoke at an event today as a keynote speaker, and I told them that 2025 will be no different from 2024. I mean, we all went for crossover service. I'm sure that a lot of people here are Christians. And we danced and we rejoiced and we made declarations and we prayed, we spoke in tongues. And the heavens were open because genuinely God is always seeking to pour substance on us. But when we crossed over to the 1st January 2025, I did not get fairer. I did not get taller. In fact, my car did not change. We entered the car from church. We got home. My bed was the way I left it. The house was how I left it. If there was nothing I did to change anything, it remained as it was from 2024. What I'm saying in essence is that, I'm sorry to say, but 2024 will remain, and 2025 will remain as 2024, or as the years have been and the days have been, if there is nothing that you do, there is no intentional action, or there is nothing that changes within you to change the year in itself. So the year and whatever we get from it is fully dependent on us here. I have said it that the year is full, but we need to be full to get, we need to be ready to intentionally get all that we need to get. Emanuela said you made an excellent keynote speaker. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I see my people from the event today. Thank you. And so we have plans. I have also been if you know me, I'm a very energetic person, and it could even deceive myself to think that energy could mean, or movement could mean progression. And so we know things. In fact, we know things. Knowledge is not a problem. Everybody here that is joining this call today, I can bet that 70% of persons here know how to set goals. In fact, have been setting goals. So we set goals. We have the knowledge on what to do and how to do it. But the problem is in the doing. The problem is in the execution. And I'm here to tell you today that the execution is not by willpower. There is a strategic blueprint that I'm here to share with everybody here today. So this is not a goal setting class, even if we'll talk about goal setting, but we're going to do it from the angle of the doer's execution blueprint, because the person who is going to get things done must have the DNA of a doer. If you notice, I changed my tag to doer. It's a prophetic declaration, but it's also a mantle that I have decided to walk in this year to do. And this is one of the events that we're starting off with. So I hope you're ready. If you're ready, please just type in the chat that you're ready, because I already feel so excited. This is a very serious event. That's why I'm not doing a lot of protocol to start. We're getting right into it because I'll be doing a lot of talking. I have my water here with me. Where's my water? So I'm just quickly going to share my screen. If you can see it, please let me know. I've changed it. Can you see my screen? Okay. I think I'm not sharing it yet. Give me minutes to share my screen. So where do I? Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? And if you can hear me, please let me know you can hear me.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Oh, great. So I'll just pin my screen. I think it's pinned, so we can get right into it. Thank you. So today, welcome to the Doer Strategic Blueprint. It's such an honor here today to be able to do this. I count this as a privilege. We have about 65 people, and I'm sure that more people will join in. So we'll just get right into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the DOERS execution blueprint. And this is the module that we'll be looking at. It's quite brief in terms of when you're looking at the module structure, but this is, as you can see, is about 46 pages. And this is going to take roughly about 2 hours. I'm going to try to shrink everything in just so that we can be able to take. So what I'm saying this is prepare your mind. This is not one of the webinars you rush in and rush out. You need to take your time to take all that God has prepared for us today. Housekeeping rule, please help us to mute your mic once you join in, so that we don't have distractions. So we're going to be looking at reflections and observation. We'll be talking briefly about them. We'll also look at the traditional goal setting that everybody already knows, but I don't like to assume. I'm sure that there are still some people that need help setting goals traditionally. And then we go into the DOER system. And as you've seen here, DOER, the D stands for design, the O stands for optimize, the E stands for execute, and the R stands for reflect. We've been setting goals. Now we want to see if we can change them. There's a popular adage that says that if you don't expect to keep doing the same thing at the same time or the same way and expect a different result. For this year, the level of execution that has been required of us requires a higher level of intensity. It requires us to operate on a higher level of frequency, and that is the DOERS blueprint. You can call it any other thing. I have been the one to target this, but the principles remains. It's foundational. I need somebody to please mute their mic. Nubia, please mute your mic so you don't distract other people. And so once I'm done teaching, we will now all craft our own personalized DOER system. Like I said, this was prepared for a master class where we're physically going to do that. But because of time, I might not be able to guide everybody, but I'll just give a template and then we can do that maybe tomorrow or this night, better this night, just so that we still have the energy from the session. Now, let's start with the first part, which is reflection and observation. And the objective of this is just so that we are self-aware, right? Give me a minute. I need to set this. Just give me a minute, please. We need to. Okay, very good. The people on this call. Patience. Let me just get this done. Okay. Very good. Okay. So today we're first going to be talking about reflection and observation, and we want to identify imbalances. Before you move forward, it's important that we first of all reflect and check where we are right now. Whether you're making progress, whether you're making $1 billion, whether you're making ₦1. This is the point where God is calling us to pause, to pay attention and allow our life speak to us. That is the essence of reflection. Reflection and observation are the foundation of a productive life. If you see somebody who is productively doing things and with so much energy, and I'm not talking about busy achieving nothing, there's a difference between being busy and being productive, right? It's the person is living from a life of reflection and observation. Now, what does it do? It allows us to pause and examine how our lives are unfolding so that we don't drift aimlessly. We're not busy achieving nothing. And many people are rushing through life. They are caught up in endless activities. They are doing plenty things and many things for their businesses, their career, or whatever it is they are set out to do. And without stopping to ask, is this thing I'm doing working? Right? Am I becoming who I'm meant to be? Am I operating in the frequency I'm supposed to operate in? And sometimes they are even seeing results, and they feel that because of the small results they are getting, that is the entirety of what they are supposed to produce. right? Remember the parable of the talents, when they gave the 5, the 2, and the 1. The point of this introduction is that even if you are achieving certain level of results, you need to be able to reflect and ask yourself, is this the level of results I am supposed to achieve? The person who has 100 million but is supposed to be operating at a 1 billion range, and somebody who has 10 million and is supposed to operate at a 10 million range, who is successful? The person who has 100 million is visibly successful, but it's the person really fulfilling the calling of the amount that God has deposited in that person. And that's why reflection is not only when something is going bad. We need to be able to have the culture of reflecting, even when things seems to be good, even if it seems that we're busy, even when it seems that whether things are working out well or not. And so that's why I want us to start at this point here today. Pause, pay attention, let your life speak to you. Right? And then what is observation? It goes hand in hand with reflection. Observation is basically the act of paying attention. Paying attention. Many of us are too busy to pay attention to what is truly happening in our lives. So observation is watching how situations unfold, noticing patterns, or sometimes at a particular season of the year, this is what happens. When we're talking about patterns, you know, when we grew up in Nigeria, for those of you who are in Nigeria, you understand what I mean now, when we are rebuking every evil pattern. And while that is funny, do you know that they're actually patterns? It might not be spiritual, but they are patterns. At a certain point in somebody's life, maybe at a certain month, you notice year in, year out, maybe May of every month, something happens to me. Or in December, there is always a strategic alliance. Opportunities open to me at this point in time. I begin to meet people. See, a person who is not observant will not know the patterns in their life, whether it is positive or negative, and will not be able to align where they need to because they are not paying attention. In the morning, I'm more energetic. Okay, so let me leverage my morning time to be able to execute because I have noticed my patterns. Oh, I am always moody at this point in time. Maybe when I go at certain places or listen to certain things, observation. Understanding what is really happening in your life and around you. And it requires stillness. And that's the problem with people in my generation especially. We are too energetic to be still. And energy is important. I'm going to talk about energy. But it requires stillness to be able to reflect and observe. If you are too busy to pause, you risk being blind to the lessons and opportunities that are meant for you per time and per season. We're talking about the Doer strategic blueprint because we want to set goals that are necessary for us in this season. But if you're not even reflective, if you are not observative, or what's the word to use, you would not even know if this is the goal you will set. You will set because everybody is doing it, or because it feels like, this is the goal I'm supposed to set. This is the season. Because you are working with other people's patterns and not yours. You are too busy to pause. And you are risking being blind. I spoke this morning about possibility blindness. And that can only happen because you have shut out what truly matters and you are busy doing many other things. And so reflection is looking inward. Asking yourself what is working or what is not working. If it is working, okay, how? Why observation is looking outward, noticing the patterns in your environment, noticing what is happening around you, and you need both to be able to thrive in 2025. When you reflect, you take stock of your life. Make you an admin. Let me see if I can make someone else an admin. Just so that we have a better control. Just give me a minute. I can't. Okay. Right. So I was talking about reflection, and it's very important that we get this introduction very well. Because without reflection, you will repeat mistakes. And without observation, you will miss the signs that will guide you on the path you're supposed to take. So reflection makes you self-aware. Okay, something is not working. You know it's not working. Also, okay, something is working. You know it is working. You double down on it. It's not working. You change it. Then observation makes you to discern the opportunities, the people. Who do I connect with? What are the things I need to do? Who are my clients? You see? Now, let's quickly talk about the power of pausing. The world is teaching us to move, keep moving. And me, I'm that kind of person, to work harder, do more, keep pushing. But in the midst of that, wisdom is calling us here today to pause. When you pause, you create space for clarity. It is in the silence that you hear the truth about your life. We are busy trying to ask people questions, but do you know that it is very deep? Sometimes you sit down and ask yourself those questions. You will see that the answers you're looking for everywhere is with you when you sit still. And you ask yourself, this is what I call the life mirror exercise. You can write things. This is a teaching session, so I need you to write because I'll be moving very, very fast. Sit down and ask yourself, what is working well in my life? What is not working and why? What can I change to grow in alignment with my values and goals? I know you think these are cliches questions, but this is actually what you do to be able to get certain answers and to be able to operate at a certain level of frequency. Every successful people have certain principles. You can do different things, so because I mean, there's no one way to success. You can go to Abuja with flights. You can go to Abuja with the what do they call it? God is good. Even in the flight, you can go with business class or you can go with commercial. But the principle of transportation remains the same. To move from Uyo to Abuja, you must transport. That's the principle. How you transport is now different, is unique and particular to the individual. And so what I'm trying to say in essence is pay attention. The answers are always there if you stop long enough to look at them. If you stop long enough to see them. I'll just quickly move on fast. And so let's take a little bit of self-inventory. We're going to talk about the wheel of life. I thought about this in 2017. That was the first time I thought about this. And I'm seeing it everywhere now. And I decided to just, make mention of it for people who don't know what the wheel of life is. The wheel of life is basically a principle or a system that helps you to evaluate key areas of your life and you identify imbalances. And then you gain clarity on areas that need attention and improvement, right? For instance, if your health is neglected and you are focusing on business, what happens? At some point, it lowers your energy and focus and it will reduce productivity. Another wheel of life, relationship. If you are married and you're having issues in your home, you're quarreling, you may be divorced or something and it's affecting you mentally, or even if you're dating just boyfriend and girlfriend, have you noticed that when you quarrel with your partner, it sort of like affects your productivity? When your relationships are strained, it could lead to mental distraction. It could lead to anxiety or emotional fatigue, which will also impact your professional performance. So do you see how your entire life, you have one life. We like to share it, spiritual life, academic life. No, you have one life. And when one aspect of the life is suffering, especially if it's a key area of your life, there is an imbalance and it will somehow, with time, you might not notice it immediately. It will start to affect every other part of your life. That is what the wheel of life helps us to do. Think of life as a wheel when you're driving a car. If you have a car, you know what I'm talking about now, right? There is a spoke for each in your tire. Now, each area of your life represents a spoke. If one spoke is weak or is broken, no matter the energy that you have and no matter the fuel that is in your car, there is a limit to the speed that your car can roll on, because the wheel cannot roll smoothly, no matter how much effort you exert. And the thing is, I'm not saying you need perfection. You don't need to be 100% perfect in family, 100 in relationship. I don't know if you can see my screen because it's important you see this wheel of life. So you can take a screenshot and use it to do your own wheel of life, right? Because it's important that we know each areas. This is just a guide. You can put whatever is important to you. So I put here relationship, routine, experience, God, my goals, my growth. You can put.
No, I can't see the screen.
Okay. Can you zoom? You can zoom it. Just scroll to the top of the. I think I just checked my screen now, and I think I can see it. Okay, you can see it. It's clear. Okay. All right. Please just zoom it so that you can see it. This is just an example. Now, there are 10 compartments here. You can decide to put anything there. You can decide to put family. You can put business. You can put relationship, because it's also important. I think sometimes we are so goal-driven that we forget that it is people See, every bold idea cannot be executed in isolation. If you think about it, every core and strategic thing that ever happened in life came as a result of people coming together. So you need a circle. Even human beings, the creation of the powerful invention, which is the man, right? Man is the greatest invention ever, came as a result of three things, three deities. They are three in one: God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that goal that you have is also hinged on the people around you. Write it there. Another part of your life could be that is very important to you, could be church, your spiritual life. That's God. Have you seen that you can be achieving so much and you think you're making all the money, but you still feel a yearning on the inside? You still feel empty on the inside, possibly because your relationship with God is altered. Do you see what we're talking about, the domino effect? It begins to create an imbalance that even if outside, externally, you are succeeding and people are appreciating you, you still come inside and you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling depressed. You see where they say, this person is very rich. Why is this person depressed now? I think I need to pin my screen. Just give me a minute. Yeah, you people can't see the screen because somebody else has taken over my screen. Just give me a minute. I need to pin the screen. Wow. This is okay. Done. I have pinned the screen. So can you see the screen now? Yeah, that's because somebody pinned has.
The screen is not up yet, man.
This is taking our time. Someone pinned herself. Wait, let me just unpin this lady. Unpin. Sorry. Please, you people should not spoil my slide. Somebody actually pinned herself, and that was why it was very difficult to pin myself. But can you see? I've unpinned her now. Oh, it's still showing that she's pinned. What's her name?
I've pinned you. I've pinned your screen. I think they can see it now.
Yeah, actually still
I've
pinned it.
unpinned her. I've unpinned her. The screen is now showing. Go on.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not showing. I can't see. I'm still seeing her. Wana is presenting. That's what I'm
Don't worry,
seeing.
refresh. Don't worry, let's just go on. Try to just listen to what I'm saying. And then because there's a whole lot we need to, and this is just the introduction. All right. So, like I said, it is very critical for balance. You cannot move forward without balance. You can't, when you're driving a car and your tire is poked. What happened? No matter the energy you're putting or the speed you're using to drive, it will not give you that speed that you require. And that's why a lot of us are struggling. There is hustle. There is too much exertion of energy in one thing that someone else will do, and the person operates from a place of flow. So this year, if we must operate from a place of flow and do things, even if I'm not saying you will not, do hard work in some way, right? But you're operating from a place of ease. You're operating from a place of flow. You need to get back to your wheel of life and ask yourself, what are the components that make me as a person? So for me, my family is very important. The people around me, that is my friends, God, in fact, that's the number one, and all of those things, right? I think people can see the screen now. Sorry for the distractions. I'll just try to get back in the flow. Right. So how do you create all of these things? Like I said, pick different areas of your life that is very, very important to you, that you know that if something happens to me in this area of my life, it will possibly affect every other area of my life. And like I said before, God, family, relationship, finance too. Have you seen that when they say when you don't have money, you're usually frustrated? I mean, for people who have not, we need to rise above making material thing a source of our joy. But if you're still at that level where little cash will start biting your body, you need to rise above that. But putting money also in your wheel of life is also important. It helps you to drive the other things that you want to do as well. So we're going to move away from this because of time. I'm sorry, I just need to move very, very fast. Okay. Now let's go to mind mapping. We're talking about mind mapping now, because this is the introduction to which you now start to set your DOER goal. Remember, I said in the introduction, DOER means design, optimize, execute, and reflect. But this has to be hinged on something. And that's how you start with a mind mapping. So get your paper and your pen. You can write on a paper, just put a big circle. And what is that central goal that you want to achieve this year? That 1, 2, or 3, if possible, just one. It's called a push goal, where if that happens, it unlocks every other thing. It's the domino effect. If that thing happens, it unlocks every other thing, right? So start with a mind mapping. Pause. See, don't restrict yourself. We have not come to the point of how. It is not your business how yet. Don't worry, we will figure it out along the way. So what you are writing now is the what, as ordained and defined by God, right? Whatever is in your heart now. I'm not talking about ambition. Whatever is in your heart now, put it down. How, we'll talk about it later. I'll tell you how to do that. Now, once you've done that, keep it one side. We'll come to it. Now, section 2. Let's move to section 2, which is identifying patterns and blocks. Identifying patterns and blocks. So today, I want to help you uncover limiting beliefs and recurring behaviors that has been hindering your progress. And we'll use the meta model. The meta model. It's very simple. The meta model helps to challenge limiting beliefs by questioning the language we use to describe our challenges.
Sorry to interrupt, Ma, but I can still see the screen. I don't know if it's possible for you to screen record and then share it with us after the class.
Okay. This distraction. Okay, no problem. Would get that. We'll get that sorted. But I'm sure that every other person can see. Can you see the screen?
I can see. I can see.
I can see your screen clearly.
So if it's possible,
Sorry, I cannot see the screen clearly.
screen record. So I can
It's fine, no problem. So just listen to what I'm saying then. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm using my other phone and I can see my screen clearly. So maybe you just need to log out and log back in. Then you refresh, just scroll up and down. Your screen is supposed to be on top. I don't know if you can see.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, so please, let's just continue without distraction. There's a whole lot we need to talk about today. So I'm talking about the meta model, right? It's just using language, questioning the language you use to describe our challenges. You see people who are executing on certain levels, they're doing everything that they've set out to do. And you're like, oh my God, this person is doing so well. And you think the person doesn't have challenges. No. In fact, for every big thing that happens, if you ask them behind the scenes, sometimes it's usually messy and chaotic. You can see the beautiful picture outside because, you know, of the result of what has happened at the back end. But a lot of times why you're able to drive through the frustration and the challenges is because you have learned the meta model. And I'm going to teach everybody here the meta model. We need it this year. We're talking about this year as a full year, as a year of doing, but it will come with challenges. A new year does not automatically wipe away challenges. We're in this life, right? So now, for example, you say, I am always bad at sticking to plan. Who can relate? Oh, I'm lazy. Or let me not even say I'm lazy. That might be too hard. I am always bad at sticking to plan. That is what a challenge. And that's a statement somebody is making here today. But then I'm asking you, are you sure you're always? You see the emphasis of always. Can you recall one time when you stuck to a plan successfully? At least you said, I want to go and bait, and you actually went to bait at that time. Even if it's once in your life, can you recall what specifically happens when you try to stick to plan? What happens? You see the reflection I was talking about. This is where it comes in. How do you know you are bad at sticking to plan? What evidence are you using to justify the statement? This is just an example. Put any excuse or thing that you have said concerning your life or your business. Say it. Oh, I don't know why my business is always attracting small-minded people. Or I don't know why I'm always attracting people that are jealous of my success. Or I don't know. Think about whatever it is that you're saying. And then meta model questions the language you use to describe your challenge. No, I'm not saying that your challenge is not valid, though. You see, it is valid. But the language you use to describe it, are you saying always? What evidence are you using? How do you know you are bad at it? And then reframe the thought. So today I want to teach you to reframe the thoughts, because challenges will come, doubts will come, certain things will come. But when you step into the doer's mandate, you are the person who reframes every thought that comes. So the original thought, for example, is I'm bad at sticking to plan. The new thought is now, I want to teach you this. Listen, this is very powerful. The new thought will be, I succeed in sticking to plans. Now, I'm not saying aspire to perspire. Listen to this now. You are not denying that you don't stick to plan, but you are just changing the language. And listen, I succeed in sticking to plan when I choose clear, realistic goals. Now, do you see that because you have answered your question about how do you know you're bad at it? What usually happens when you're not sticking to plan? If you ask yourself these questions and you are sincere to yourself, you see that you don't stick to plan, possibly because you have not chosen a clear goal. Because your brain, that's how wiring works. The brain creates neural pathways when we challenge limiting beliefs. The brain is in the control of our mind. And so when you keep constantly challenging the limiting beliefs that you have, or the challenges that you have, or the self-sabotage that you have, your brain is creating a new pathway for it. And when you keep repeating this process, it consistently weakens the old pathway. And you are making the new one more dominant. And so, oh, I don't know why I always fail at things like this. I don't know, I'm not good at this. Why not say, I actually am good at this if I ... So it means that the reason you are not good at that is because the second part of the statement is off. So that means that you are recognizing that something is wrong. I'm not saying cover your wound, but you're just reframing and rewiring the statement. It is very important because your brain does not know the difference between real and imagined. Your brain does not know the difference between actual and reality and potential. It doesn't know the difference. You see, when the Bible says, as a man thinks, so he is, right? As a man thinks, so he is. It means not so he will be. You see, that means your brain already sees you as you think. So if you think you are rich, and this is very powerful, when you break into this revelation, it begins to change even the way you do. I always say this, belief empowers behavior. And so when you step into the belief of setting a tag or a label or whatever it is that God has called you to, even when it is not happening at that point, the brain sends a message, this person is a rich person, no, this person is a rich person, no, even if the pocket is empty. You know what that does? Because your brain is aligned with that rewiring and reframing, despite the opposite of what you're seeing in the physical realm, it begins to point you to the opportunities that are aligned with what your brain, because your brain has created a pathway for it. Right? And so I want you, first activity for today, write down all your common limiting beliefs. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have enough time. Oh, I'm not disciplined enough to do this thing. Success is not for people like me. Billion is not for people like me. This coaching thing is not for me. This pastor thing is not for me. I cannot do this thing. Now, write it down. And I want you to rewrite that script using the meta model I just taught you. Rewrite the script. You can put it in the comment section. Let me see. Just give me one example. I'm looking at the comments. What is that one limiting belief that you have? Can you try to rewrite the script? So you are still acknowledging the issue, but this time around, you've changed the language. Because of time, we're just going to move forward. But I'll still be looking at the comment section, and I need you to write that script. Yes, I have all the time I need to meet my goals. Yes, but you need to put the second part, though, because when you put this now like this, it's just motivation you are giving yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, you are telling yourself you don't have the time, right? Why don't you have the time? Add it here. I have all the time I need to meet my goals when I schedule properly. So you see that even when you fail in having the time to meet your goal, it's not because that's who you are. It's because you did not schedule your goals properly. That's the last part. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Good. I can drive if I put this is a perfect example. I can drive if I put my mind to learning it. So it does not deny the fact that right now she cannot drive. It's just saying that if she puts her mind to it, she can drive. This is powerful. When we start to execute on this, you would see how your mind changes immediately and you begin to do the things because you have changed the language from cannot to can. It's just simple. You see, all the remas in this world, all the big things are from small information. Don't expect to hear one massive didactic thing. It is as simple as this. I have all the time I need to meet when I plan my day efficient. Perfect. Now, you people, I'm so happy that everybody is getting this. That is the part 1. Number 2, we need to create our personal roadmap because we're going to the Doer mandate soon. But I need us to be clear. I have 20 minutes for this, and then the next 45 minutes we'll do the Doer mandate. Okay. Now, how do you create your personal roadmap? Now you've gotten clarity. Or even if you've not gotten clarity, I'm just teaching you the template. Please, you need to go and get clarity, and I'm going to tell you where you get your clarity from later. But just write down these things. Once you get clarity about what you want to do, whether this year, whether in 2028 or whether in 2030, we should stop restricting your goal to only a year, even if they are short-term goals within a year, but your life goal is beyond a year, it's beyond 2025. So when you're setting goals, don't be myopic to just do 2025. So after 2025, what will happen? You now go back and start doing again. No, you need to have a life vision and your personal roadmap. Okay. Now, there are 2 things I want to teach us today before I continue. Anchors and drivers is very important. What is the anchor? Because this is how you can create your personal roadmap and execute. Anchor is simple. These are your values or habits that keep you grounded. For example, you have said that you are no longer busy. You have time for your goals when you schedule them properly or when you plan efficiently. What are the anchors? Now you've made that as a statement, right? What are the anchors that will make that happen? Those are the values or the habits. So if you need to plan consistently, it means, oh, every morning I need to do this, I need to do that. It's not easy. You see, this success thing we're talking about is easy, but you need to do the work. So anchors are your values. Anchors are your habits that will keep you grounded. For example, for me, your daily prayer, family life, it's simple. You don't stop looking for big things. Start from the small things. Have you noticed, oh, when you have fun time with your family, you are more productive at work? It could be that. That is an anchor. Or when you pray in the morning and you start your day with at least 30 minutes of speaking in tongues and prayer, your day becomes fruitful and productive. That is an anchor. So you need to start asking yourself, what is an anchor in my life? Or when you go out to have fun with your friends, you see that the next week you are more productive because you are well rested. Or when you sleep very well, you are more productive. That is an anchor. Now we've understood what an anchor is. Number 2, driver. What is your driver? Drivers are motivation that pushes you forward. For example, what is my driver? My baby girl, my husband. Oh, I want to make my daughter proud. That is a driver. For you, it could be career growth. For you, it could now be your goal. You see, your goal is just a subset. Your goal is not the main thing. What we are thinking, goal setting, that is just a part. It's not your personal roadmap. Your goal is not who you are. Your goal is just a subset to becoming who you should be, because making you become who you should be. Because at the end of the day, the essence of goal is growth. If you are not growing via your goal, then I don't know what that is. That is not a goal. That is activity. You are busy achieving nothing. Right? So what is your motivation? Your motivation to be, oh, my motivation of doing what I want to do, waking up to be a doer and executing is I want to make 100 million this month. Or I want to make, I'm using finances because that's a general language everybody uses. So it's usually a very easy example for me. I don't know what each of you want to do, but money is what everybody can relate to. Abi, who does not want to make money here? Right, so understand these 2 concepts. Concept number 1, anchor. Concept number 2, driver. When your anchors are ignored, you may feel lost, even when you think you are achieving external success. And that's why some successful people are depressed. Similarly, when your drivers are weak, it is hard to find energy to progress. You see a smart person, you see people who have gotten it all figured out, they have strategy, but they do not have energy to execute on that strategy and idea because they have not identified their drivers. Your driver could be one individual. It could be that one friend you'll be seeing in your dream pursuing you if you are sleeping anyhow or you are wasting your life. You will see the person appear you and say, my friend, stand up. Who is your driver? Who are your drivers? What is your driver? What are your drivers? You need to identify it. It could be financial freedom for many. It could be influence for many. It could be impact. For some people, it could be that, oh, lives are attached to me. And that's what I tell myself. I cannot fail. It's not about me. It's because God has given me everything that pertains to life and godliness. This is my driver. I wake up and I want to do this thing. I'm launching this. I'm working. My husband driver could be family. He's working at night, 2 a.m. He's waking. Is it that he doesn't like to sleep? Enjoyment. Everybody likes enjoyment. But we are consistently standing up to do things. That's the energy. And the energy is better when you understand that these things are your drivers and you don't want to fail. So I need you to create a table. I told you it's a teaching class, so you need to have your notepad. And in 2 columns, write your anchors. What are your anchors? It could be daily prayer time. It could be family time. It could be whatever that will keep you grounded, that will keep you sane, that you get your satisfaction from, regardless of the activities you're doing. On the second part, write your drivers. If you've not thought about it before now, think about it now. You can list 3 items under each. All right? And so we're going to move to the next because of time. We need to move fast. Now let's look at the 5 whys technique. So I'm telling you all these things because you need these strategies. Now the 5 why technique is called the root cause analysis tool, where, for example, remember I've taught you the meta tool, reframing your language. If in case you've forgotten, always reframe your language. I cannot do this. No, I can do this when you can put conditioning instead, right? Or I can do this. So for example, for the 5 why technique, right, is about questioning. For example, I procrastinate a lot. You can write it. You can write your own problem. Ask yourself why. I procrastinate a lot. Why? The person that said, maybe I'm scared of driving, right? This is another example. If you don't want to use the meta tool, you can use this technique. You ask yourself, why? Why am I scared of driving? So I procrastinate a lot. Why? You ask it the why 5 times. Why number 1, you write it down. The first thing that comes to your mind, don't try to make it logical. That's the problem. We are too smart. And you see, that's the problem for execution. See, even if when you're working with God, a man who is too smart, who is too calculated, who is too strategic cannot work with God because you are blinded to possibilities. You are only open to strategy that you think you are wise about. No. So don't try to. That's why I'm not telling you to write it in the chat. Do it yourself. Nobody will laugh at you. The first thing that comes to your mind, I procrastinate a lot. Why number 1? Maybe because I feel overwhelmed by my tasks. Everything, I feel so overwhelmed, so I have to procrastinate. Then you ask again, why? Why do I feel overwhelmed by my tasks? Maybe because I don't have clear priority tasks, so I just do everything at the same time. I don't properly structure my time. Then you ask yourself, why don't you have a clear priority list? Okay, why you see then and start asking yourself questions. Oh. The answers we're looking for outside is in us. If we can just sit to ourselves and truly ask ourselves this question. Then you answer, okay, maybe because I don't plan my day ahead. This is just an example. And then you ask yourself, okay, so why don't I plan my day ahead of time? Maybe because I feel too tired to plan at night. So to be honest, I beg, when I come back, I just want to sleep. Who planning help? Okay, why do you feel too tired to plan at night? That's why number 5. Maybe because I don't go to bed early enough. I do many other things. I'm so busy with other activities. I watch film late in the night, or I think I'm working. I'm actually working. And so I don't have the time to actually plan for the next day. Now, do you see that you have gotten your root cause analysis? The first why might not give you the answer. The 5th why, that's where it is. You see, it means that you procrastinate a lot because you don't go to bed early enough. You see, it's very easy and simple. It might not look like it. Sometimes the answers might not look like the answer. It's too easy. It's too simple. We're looking for one hard, deep, rema. So you create a solution based on the why. So it simply means that when you create a bedtime routine that improves your energy level, you will no longer procrastinate. When you go to bed early and it allows you to plan for the next day ahead of time and you have a priority list, you will no longer feel overwhelmed by your tasks and then you will no longer procrastinate. This is just an example. Put it in anything, any challenge that you have and come back and tell me thank you. So you either use the meta tool, which is at the first base, to reframe the language, and then you question that challenge. Now let's move over to the next thing. Traditional goal setting. Remember, I told you this is not a goal setting class, but I would not like to assume that everybody even knows how to set their goals. So I'll move very fast, right? Traditional goal setting. It focuses on outcome. I want to make $10,000 this month. We make SMART goals. S for specific. No, this is specific. M for measurable. Anything you cannot measure, you cannot maintain, right? That's the $10,000. A for achievable, of course, and or actionable, as the case may be. Something that is within. You cannot want to, from step 1, you are jumping to step 100. You are going to fall down and break your leg. That's why many people are overwhelmed. They are burnt out because they are trying to do past themselves. Even if goals are supposed to be beyond you, goals are supposed to stretch you, because at the end of the day, goals are for growth. You need to become a better person to achieve the goals you have set. However, don't die because you have set goals. What I mean is, when you try to jump from a story building to, or from the top of the step to the down step, you're not trying to take it step by step. What happens? You break your leg. You see, so many people are left worse than they even started the goal setting charade and all of that, because they're trying to do things that are overwhelming, that are beyond them. You are making 100K this month. You now set next month that you want to make 100 million. How now? Joseph the dreamer. You see, and then when you keep setting those kind of goals, you don't get results. What happens? You become discouraged. And there's something I'm going to teach us later. There's a pathway in your brain that helps you want to win. If you win small, you anchor your wins. That's called the winning bank. You anchor your wins, and because of that, use it to get more wins. But if you are setting goals that you cannot even win in, you can't even say you completed this thing because it's too big. Your brain is not having any record of any win. And so when the real tasks come, you can't even deliver on it because you have no pathway of winning. So what I'm trying to say is set goals that are bigger than you, but will not break you. This is the traditional goal setting, right? I'm teaching you that in case you don't know that, and I'll tell you what you can do to modify it. So the traditional goal setting focuses on outcome. I want to make $10,000 this month, without addressing the systems and habits that are needed to achieve those outcomes. Because whether you like it or not, your life rises and falls on the systems that you've put in place. Check it. The human body. Your human body is a system. The eyes, the mouth, everything is working, even when you don't feel like. When you wake up, everything is automatic. Are you seeing there's a flow that happens? Everything is coordinated. Why do we now think that in achieving goals, we need to, if I want to stretch my hand, I just need to stretch it. That's flow. That's ease. When you want to start executing at a place of ease, you need to understand system. You're able to stretch your hand without doing so much because your system is working. Example of a goal, I will lose 10 kg in 3 months. That's a SMART goal because it's specific. It is measurable. It is achievable. It is realistic. It is time-bound. Is that not a SMART goal? But at the end of the day, you're even worse than you became. Why did it fail? Because it focused on the outcome without creating a system to make that happen, like regular exercise, meal planning, sleep hygiene. The brain resists this kind of goal. There's something called the prefrontal cortex. It is responsible for planning and decision making. Let me tell you, it works with clear, actionable steps. That's why you're overwhelmed, because you're doing many things at the same time. You just dump your goal, plenty goals. The brain is resisting you. Your system is even fighting you. And so how do you cooperate with your goal? It's to make things easy so that your brain can see it and make decisions immediately on the spot, clearly. Clear, actionable steps to make that thing possible. And so goals without system will overwhelm this part of the brain I talked about, which will lead to procrastination and failure. Right? And so that's the traditional goal setting. And I'm going to move past that. If I want to add to the traditional goal setting, I'll even change it and call it specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-bound, and then put SS at the back to make it SMART. Strategic blueprints. How does this goal align with God's word? How does it align with my value? Is this goal for the season? Is this spiritual? Is this what I should be doing at this point in time? Strategic blueprints. And you know where you can find it. The second S, structure. Behind every sustainable system and success, there is a system. You need your standard operating procedure, clear processes that will prevent confusion and ensure consistency. And that is the part we are going to dwell on today. But before we get right into it, I still have about 4 minutes on this part. I want to teach us something because it's important we even understand the traditional goal setting before we talk about the DOER system. Right? So how do you redefine it? You can also reverse engineer your goal. You can start with the end result. You know, when we say our God is a God that knows the end from the beginning, we can be like God. We are gods too. It means walk backward. So you've put your goal, oh, I want to, whatever your goals are, write it clearly, right? Remember, specific, it should be measurable. Don't make vague goals. Your brain will just be laughing at you. It will be confused and mocked up. It should be actionable and achievable. It should be realistic. It should be time-bound. And this time around, once you've written the goal, start with the end result. Be like your father who knows the end from the beginning. Yes. You might not know it exactly. You might not know the how exactly, but you can know the picture. Yes, you can. You can know the end from the beginning. Then walk backward and begin to identify the step needed to achieve it. Okay, I want to make so and so, and so and so. Walk backward. See yourself at that level. What do you need to do, or who do you need to become to make that thing happen? All right? And then you begin to write it down clearly. Do you know what you are doing to your brain? You are giving your brain a clear instruction. The brain does not like to assume. It will not assume. No. Yes, it will go numb. And that's why they say some people's brain are not working. It's numb because you have not given it a clear instruction. Tax your brain this year. Give it clear instruction. You will be surprised at what will happen. All right? And so the activity for this, before I move on, I need you to ask yourself, what goals have I failed to achieve in the past year or in the past, and why? Write it down. Think about it. Have I ever set goals before? I have. I set goals that have failed. Why? What systems did I have or did I lack for these goals? You can analyze it. Because of time, I would have wanted us to do it here together. Please, can you help me take a screenshot of the people? Yeah. I would have loved us to do it together, but because of time, we have to move on. So please just do it yourself. The question is, what goals have you failed to achieve in the past and why? Then, what systems did you have or did you not have for this goal? Now that I've taught you all of these things, begin to poke nose and poke holes into your former system and ask yourself, maybe there's something that I did not do or I did wrongly, and that is why. My YouTube channel, for example, this one, my friends already know. I set a goal that I wanted to hit 50,000 subscribers last year. I mean, it's achievable. There are people who have gotten to 100,000 subscribers in a year, and I feel like I have the capacity to make it happen. But the point is, I know where I've gone wrong. I've done my review. I know I did not do enough marketing. My content was not, suited enough in the sense of packaging it. So you need to be true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to lie to yourself. We can go out and form to people. You cannot form to yourself. You know what happened. Write it down. All right. So now let's go to the DOERS blueprint. Who is ready? Who is ready? Many people are saying they are trying to join and the room is full. Okay, I do not know. I think I should have streamed to YouTube. It's nothing I can do at this point. It should just be distracting me. I would just have to proceed. Yeah. So if you're ready, just type I'm ready. How has this session been so far? How has the introduction been? Have you gotten something? I've talked about drivers, identify your driver. I've talked about identify your anchors. I've talked about the meta-analysis, how you can use language to reshape, reframe your challenges. It doesn't mean that challenges will not exist. It's how you interpret it, because your brain does not know the difference. If you tell your brain you are rich and you stay in that language long enough, I'm not just saying say it today. That's the problem. We go to church, lift our holy hands, we declare and we leave it. We've forgotten who we are. The Bible says it. You look at the mirror, the man forgets the manner of man he is. You see? And then we go back. No, I'm saying staying on this principle. It's not a one-day thing. It's a life transformational thing. You need to stay on this principle that I've shared here today. Great. Funisa says the introduction has been really powerful. I'm ready. Great. I can say I'm ready. Let's go into the doer system. If you're a doer, let me do like a pastor. Type in the comments, I'm a doer. I am a doer. Type in the comments, I am a doer. Please help me to my goal. Who is this? Thank you. Just mute yourself. Now, this session forms the foundation of your journey towards becoming a peak performer. Remember the example I said about your body? If I say I want to nod, can you see the ease at which I'm nodding? Because my system is healthy, everything is working out well. That's how your system is supposed to be. That's how your goals are supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to be as a human being when you operate on a system and structure. And so now I want to teach you how to set transformative goals that will create sustainable system and ensure consistent execution. Talking and do. As you are saying it, you are doing. Right? So this will focus on clarity because you cannot do when you're not clear. Remember what I talked about the brain? If you're not giving it clear instructions, it's muddled up. We're going to talk about structure. We're going to talk about the neuroscience of achievement. You see the people who are constantly winning. I'm not talking about you win and then you have a long drought. That you win again. You have a long no. You see, there's some people that are consistently winning. There is a neuroscience of achievement to ensure that you are achieving at the peak performance without burning out using the DOERS system. All right, so number one, D stands for design. We're going to design now. Bring out your book. Let's design. Remember, based off of what I've been saying before, everything is still aligned. Even the traditional goal setting, I'm not against it, please. This framework is still hinged on that, right? So what is your goal? What is your goal? Write it down. What is your goal? You don't need to write it here, please. Write it in your notes. I hope you have a note. What is your goal? Close your eyes. Think about it. Truly, that truly matters. Remember, the goal has to be sensitive to the season. It is not your business how it will happen yet. No. We'll get there. Just write. It is not your business how you get that job. Write it. It is not your business the how. That's visioning. Vision casting. It is not your, at the first point, the how is not your business. What is the vision behind the goal? You've written number one, what is your goal? What is the vision behind the goal? This is where mind mapping comes in. I talked about it briefly. Because the brain can only handle so much information at once, we need to have clarity. For example, this book, I don't know how many people have read The 4-Hour Work Week, and where Tim Ferriss was talking about how he streamlined his business, right? This is very strategic for business owners to focus on essential tasks because we do a lot of things and we think it's important. It's not. He eliminated distractions. He designed his workflow for simplicity and clarity, right? And so perform a brain dump after now. If you don't have the time, because I'm talking, you might not have the time to really have a brain dump. So after now, this night, don't sleep. Carry your book. Do a brain dump. Write down everything you need to accomplish today or tomorrow, starting from what you need to accomplish this week, what you need to accomplish this year, what you need to accomplish in your lifetime. Remember, I said that our goal needs to be beyond a year. Yes, I know we need to be setting yearly goal, but please, our life is beyond a year. Do a brain dump. Remember what the Bible says. Write the vision, make it plain on table so he may run. Who is it? Mean that energy comes from what? Writing. Don't worry, I know what I want to do in my head. No, sir. No, ma. You don't. Your brain is not for storing ideas in that sense. No, you don't. Write it down. It is where you generate energy to do. All right? So write down. And then when you write all the things around, you cannot identify what is my push goal. What is that one goal that if I am able to do, it sets the path for other things? Is it my business goal? Okay. If I'm able to make this so, if I'm able to get 4 solid clients, it will be able to give me my financial goal. When I'm able to get my financial goal, I'll be able to use it to fund my vacation goal. When I'm able to fund my vacation goal, I can be able to use it to have the lifestyle that I want. I'm able to rest properly. Can you see how it interconnects? But find that one goal. That's a push goal. If that one thing happens, every other thing will fall into place with time. Or even if other things don't fall into place, it gives you satisfaction in itself. So let's talk about vision casting briefly. Vision casting. Vision casting is not about daydreaming. Sorry, excuse me. It's about creating a mental blueprint of the future you want to build. Now we are in the D, designing. We want to design now. It's about creating a mental blueprint of the future you want to build, aligning it with your values, then breaking it down into actionable steps. That's what vision casting is. It's not daydreaming. And so now I want you to help you clarify your long-term vision, define success on your own terms, and then align it with your goal. Listen, it's very important I say this. Vision casting is not imposing your own idea of a perfect life on God and then telling him to back it up. Somebody needs to know. Please help me mute your mic. You're distracting me. Thank you. Vision casting is not your ambition where you sit down and say, it would be nice. So I see myself having cars. I see myself standing in front of people. No, vision casting is not imposing your own idea of a perfect life on God and then telling him it must be this way or you should back you up. When we are doing all these things we are doing, we are leaving room for God. Like, we are not boxing God. So even our own visioning comes with enough flexibility for God to do his thing. And that's why you need to ask yourself, should I pursue? And God says, pursue. It is on that mandate and instruction of pursue that you begin to overtake and you recover all. Without that first instruction of pursue, whatever happens, you're on your own. We can struggle and do and have small success and we think that that is it. But they are the core of it because you have not gotten the vision. And so the first part, you need to go to God. And I'm not saying when I say go to God, some people feel is one, it has to be my daughter, Victoria. I have called you to the mother of nations. I have called you to do no. So God uses images. He could use people as mirrors for you. He could use an idea even right now. And so sometimes when I want to vision cast, I first of all pray. I worship because I need to set the mood right to kill flesh. Because if you leave me to vision cast, I will impose my own ambition and call it vision. You see, it's not the same thing. So set the mood for it. You can worship, you can read the word of God, saturate yourself in that way. So don't rush, take your time. And so even if you don't hear anything at that point, when you start vision casting, you see that you begin to see things that you did not even know was existing to you. It was not in your frame of vision. God begins to bring it because you have aligned. You've asked God. You've told God, should I pursue? What should I pursue? But it's important we need to vision cast. This year, sit and vision cast your year. Because what you cannot see, you cannot become. And what you cannot become, you cannot do. Your doing is based on your becoming. What you see will determine what you seize. And that is it. Many people will not fail because they lack talent. No, they have talent. We have so many intelligent and talented people in this room. Many people do not fail because they lack resources or they lack opportunities. They fail because they lack vision first. And you can't tell me, but I have vision now, but things are not working. As a lie. Remember my quote in the beginning. Belief empowers behaviors, period. Show me a man who is doing something. I will tell you his belief system. That's it. It's not, I'm not talking about just mere affirmation where you say, I know who I am, I am this and that, I am rich, and then you just mouth it. No, that's not belief. At the core of it is your conviction. Your belief will empower your behavior. There are certain things you believe and you have become, you must do. You must step into the light of manifestation, even if not immediately, with time. Right? And so I need you to begin to see beyond your immediate circumstances. When you are visioning, you're not taking into account, maybe God has called you to be a marriage counselor with your husband and you are not married, you're not in a relationship, and based off that, you begin to vision cast based on your own immediate circumstances. No, that's not vision. Vision is not just a picture of the future, it's a portal to it. It's what leads you there, it's what shapes your choice. Because I have vision casted my year, it begins to shape my choice. I know what I say no to, I know what I say yes to. It ignites my faith. I know what I hold on to God for, I know what I'm praying for, I know what I'm aligning my action with, because I already have a portal. That's a portal for whatever it is I want to achieve. All right. And so, what is the misconception of vision? Let's shake small table. I've said it before, and I want to repeat it. It's very important that vision is not about ambition. Vision is not a hustle mantra. Vision is not about building castle in the air. You close your eye and see yourself, oh, I'm flying to 10 countries and I'm speaking, because that's what we do, and we call it vision. True vision is birthed from alignment with God's purpose for your life. It's about seeing with spiritual eyes. And that's why I like what Pastor Kojo always says, God will give us the eye to see. It's perceiving not just what is, but what could be. When you walk in obedience, we'll talk about the action plan. Remember, I talked about the how. We'll do that later. So therefore, vision is about seeing from God's perspective. Because when you see from a human perspective, it's limited. You will be forced to see, oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I can't speak well. You see, look at it. Look at Moses now. I mean, look at Moses. How can God call a stammerer to go and talk to a king? How? And Moses had to tell him, Ogbeni, is like, you don't understand what is happening. You know, that's what we tell people when we are trying to, garnish our sufferings and our challenges, our limitations. You don't understand. You're not in my shoes. That's what Moses was telling God. How can you tell me? Do you know I'm a stammerer? First of all, say yes. And then the how will come. Maybe God gave him the how, Aaron. But first, you say yes. If you don't say yes, you are blinded to possibilities. You're blinded to the opportunity. The problem with us is we have not seen the people who will help us. We have not seen what we will do. We've not seen the skills we will learn or how to deploy those skills because we've not even said yes to the vision in the first place. So we are blinded to that. So you see, Moses, he was limited with his own perspective. I want us to rise up. I'm calling us to a depth where we are seeing from God's perspective and we're partnering with him to manifest that thing on earth, knowing it is not about us. Anything less is wishful thinking. So vision is not wishful thinking. Vision is partnership with God. And that means it will go beyond what you know. It will go beyond your scope. It will go beyond your immediate environment and what you think. Many of us were so consumed with the demand of the day that we don't even ask ourselves about what exactly, why bother? Where am I headed? What is the vision? What is God's perspective in this? So let's get real. You cannot walk in a vision that your character cannot sustain. I want to just add it here. So that's where the becoming process comes in. You see, I'm talking, it's important. We're still in design because this year we'll do a lot. This year, God has opened the portals already. It is heavy. This year is full. God will lay in your heart right now as I'm talking. He's dropping ideas. He's dropping execution blueprints. Oh, my career, I'm going to move from mid-level to senior level. Oh, I'm going to be earning from this to this. Oh, I'm going to get promotion. Let me tell you, you cannot walk in that vision that your character cannot sustain. I said it in my Instagram one day, was it a few days ago? Life, and I wrote it in my book in 2017. Life cannot promote you beyond your competence. And that's why I said vision is not wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is, oh, this thing is nice. Oh God, I want to do this. And you are just in the euphoria and the excitement of that thing. And you leave it at that. Vision. See, a man who is with vision will burn. Nobody needs to beg you to do. Nobody needs to beg you to become. Nobody needs to beg you to join the classes, to take the trainings, to undergo the training that you need to, because the vision will be burning in your heart. Oh, there's a vision to take your business to the next level. Nobody needs to tell you to pay a coach or to pay a strategic class or to do, or even if the Holy Spirit, you sit with him and he gives you the directions. You sit with him and he opens you up to people. Nobody will tell you to network. Nobody will tell you, we do it. Yes. All right. So there's a whole lot. Vision does not just stretch your imagination. It stretches your capacity. So if you want to lead at a higher level and execute this year, whatever goal you have set, you need to tie it to a vision. And no, remember I said, you need to go beyond 2025, goal one. Yeah, we do that, right? But you need to anchor it on a vision to know it's beyond imagination. And then that you want to lead at a higher level and become the kind of person who can carry that weight. Just imagine my daughter, I'm giving her this chair to carry. Why? I want to kill her or what? And so there are certain things that God cannot give us to handle because we don't even have the capacity. Remote work now is a thing. And we're trying to do dollars and pounds sterling. For those of you tech bro and sis here in the house, hi. Just say hi and let me know. Right? But do we have the character to sustain? The 100K we are earning, what are we doing with it? How are we using it? You want to earn 1 million. You want to earn $2,000. You want to earn, you still be the same person. Because the result doesn't change you. You change, right? It's because of you are changed that your result comes. So how do you get into this? Number one, start with submission. Now we want to design. Okay. There's a whole lot. Oh my God, 8:13. So how do you vision? Start with submission. I've said it before. Ask God to review his vision for your life, right? It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Don't worry. Then stop striving to create your own. Instead, seek alignment. You can pray. You can journal. You can just listen. It does not have to be one big response or Samuel, my son. Number two, refine the picture. You see, vision sometimes is often fuzzy at first. It's often unclear. You remember when Jesus Christ healed the blind man? This just came to my mind. I didn't plan to say this. What happened when he removed the hand from the eye, and what did the man say? I see men as trees. Yes, so sometimes at the first instance of your connection with vision, you will see men as trees. It means that it might not be clear until Jesus Christ had to lay hand again and he began to see men as men. So vision is often fuzzy and unclear, but the more you sit with it, the clearer it becomes. Clarity is not gotten in a day. So you write it down. You can talk to mentors. You can, that's where you start engaging. That's what you call vision engaging. Or you sit with the Bible, or you sit with the Holy Spirit, whatever works for you, and reflect. Number three, get uncomfortable. Your vision will always stretch you. If you're so relaxed, it means I don't know what you have. If it doesn't scare you a little bit, I don't know. Check it. Every single person God used in the Bible to do something big, they never felt qualified for it because their current status did not look like it, even if they had the internal capacity to do it, right? But they were not proud. I can do it, no be small thing. That means that's not a goal. A goal or vision that does not stretch you is just an activity, it's a tax because you can do it. So step out of your comfort zone, even when you feel unqualified, because truly that's the place you have been called to. It means you are at the right place. So if you feel unqualified for anything, yes, it's okay. That means you're in a good place. Because it's only when you're unqualified, you begin to look for ways, what to do. And it stretches you, and then you begin to learn. Number four, act in faith. Vision without action is fantasy, yes. But you see, I said act in faith. So there's action in faith. Take small, consistent steps towards that vision that you have. Don't wait for perfection. I'm not talking about perfection. Progress will build momentum. Number five, because of time, eliminate distractions. Not everything that looks good aligns with your vision. I always say this. Not everybody is good for you. Not everything good is good for you. So learn to say no to what will pull you off the course. But you can't even learn. That's why everybody is eating many things. If you don't know, for me, I don't take bananas because it affects me, my stomach. But if I don't even know that, I'll be eating, and every time I'm complaining and eating everything. No. But banana is good, Abby. In fact, when I was pregnant, I was asked to eat banana. But I told her I cannot eat it. It is good, but it's not good for me. So you can't force me. And the reason I cannot be forced is because I know. So a lot of you are moving here, there. You are heavy because you don't know. You need that knowing. And that's what today's class is about. We need to design. Number six, protect the seed. When you are visioning, not everyone deserves to have access to your vision. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Share it only with those who can nurture it, not those who would doubt it or sabotage it. And what do you do when the vision feels out of reach? Because it's a portal to the future. It's not now. Could be now, but so when you feel stuck between where you are and where you know you are meant to be, this is where faith steps in. It reminds us that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So here's the secret. Vision is most alive in the unseen. It is unseen. You can see it, but unseen in the literal sense of it is not physical. It's not yet material reality. It's potential. All right? So when you can't see how it will happen, you trust the process. You trust that the process is preparing you for the promise, like a seed that is buried in the soil. So it might feel like nothing is happening yet, but you need to understand. Somebody who is convinced about the vision understands that God is working behind the scene. So let's quickly move to the reflective question. So what is the vision you sense God has given you for this season? Write it down. And it doesn't have to be something too grand, though. You see, sometimes we want to do like, oh, I want to be like Victoria. I want to do this thing. Victoria is organizing a master class and people are sending her messages that they can't enter because the room is full. How can I? It can even be stats. So what is the vision that you sense God has given you for this season? Number 2, what is the internal transformation you need to undergo to carry that vision? This is important. Is it my mindset? Is it the method tool that I taught you about your language? Is it your character? Is it your capacity? Is it your competence? This morning, I forgot to mention this. I was speaking at as a keynote at Unshy and Unashamed. And sometimes why we are shy and we're ashamed and we're not confident is because we're not competent. Yeah, sometimes it's imposter syndrome, but sometimes let's tell ourselves the truth. We are shy because we know that if we handle the mic to talk, nothing will come out. Or we're shy to do the work because we cannot do the work. But we need to still get into that place where we build competence. You don't need to be perfect. You learn on the job, but you should be able to have something. What is in your hand? All right. So what internal transformation do I need to undergo to carry that vision? And number 3, are my daily choices moving me closer or further from the vision? You see, I made the goal that somebody says I want to reduce by 10 kg in 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And the next day, the person goes to sit down. I always make this example and sits down in front of the TV, licking ice cream. Please, my dear sisters and brothers, what will happen to that person? The person will become worse. You will not only will you not hit your goal, you will become worse than you even started when you set the goal. And so, are your daily choices moving you closer or further from the dream, from that vision? Vision is less about achieving, it's more about becoming, because when you become, it's easy. My hand is a hand. Hands are supposed to stretch, so I easily stretch. It's easy. When you have become that thing, you can easily do it, right? So, I need us to just quickly make this affirmation. I am aligned with God's vision for my life. I walk in clarity, faith, and boldness. I trust the process. I embrace the transformation required to fulfill my purpose. You can write it down or take a screenshot. Now let's go to neuroscience behind vision casting. If we can get this part right, the designing part, execution, optimization, and reflection will be very easy. I'll just run through it, okay? Because I think we have about 5 minutes more. By 9:30, we should be done. Now, what is the neuroscience behind vision casting? There's something called the reticular activating system. I think you can see my screen. Let me try to zoom it in. All right. That's your RAS. It's the brain. This one, scientists, you should know already. The brain system filters information based on what you focus on. The brain, see, the brain is very powerful. God is a God of, oh my God. He put everything in us to make things work for us, right? So the brain system will filter information based on what you focused on. So have you not noticed that if you think somebody is quarreling with you and you're focused on that, and you feel like this person, you don't like this person, and you feel the person doesn't like you, no matter what that person says, the person can come and say, see your hair, oh, your hair is actually green. Do you know what you'll be hearing? That the person insulted you. You can even go and tell your friend, can you imagine what my husband said, that my hair is somehow. What the person said is that your hair is green. Oh, wow, this is your hair, and the person will laugh. Even if the person is not laughing, the person is like, this is your hair. Because you are already focused that this person is not your person, it will filter the information based off that. And so when you cast a vision, this is very important. Please take this, right? I need you to take this. When you cast a vision, you train your brain to notice opportunities in line with that vision, to notice resources and ideas that align with that vision. That is what the RAS does. It is the brain filter system that determines what information gets your attention. That's why 1,001 things can be said, even in this room, but everybody is not getting the same thing at the same frequency. That's why we go to church. Everybody's not getting the same level of testimony. That's why we can go somewhere, we can step into a room. The thing that gets my attention might not be what will get your attention. That is because your brain determines what information gets your attention. And so your vision, what it does is to help train your brain to get the attention of whatever is in line with that vision you've placed. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Right? So when you visualize a goal consistently, I'm not saying just do it once. Oh, this night now, Victoria has poured fire on me. You do it only this night, you leave it. No, that's one thing about vision boarding. I want to show you so on my screen, I already have the vision board. That's why vision board is important. I would have loved to teach on vision board, but I can't do that, please. You can go online and there are many teachings about vision board. Right? That's the importance of vision boarding. When you visualize a goal consistently, your RAS in your brain prioritizes the opportunities and resources that align with it. You see, the prayer of eyes that sees, ear that hear, that's what they're talking about, the RAS. Because there are opportunities everywhere. There is nothing you want in this life that is not already existing. Everything, anything you can think of is already existing. It's just not existing to you. Does not mean it's not existing. So the opportunity that you are seeking, the clients that you want, the money you want to make, the job you want is already existing. Do you want to create it? It's already, even if you want to create it, there's nothing new under the sun. It's existing. For example, someone who has a vision of starting a business, when you have that vision in your heart and you are holding it firm, do you notice that you begin to notice free resources? When you open Instagram, I would like to use this example. One of my friends, she came and she told me about, she had been looking for a job, right? And then she saw me in a dream and, I just thought that's, the way I talk, stand up now, all of those things. I'm not going deep into the testimony. That's a story to tell. But the point I'm trying to make is that because she now had that as a vision, she had seen it, guess what? When she opened Facebook, she saw a post from a lady she has always been seeing. It's not a random person. My God, this is so real. She saw a post, but because her head and her brain had filtered that vision, the information got her attention. The moment she took action based off that, she saw results. From somebody who is begging to have a 100K monthly salary, that's what even if it's 100K, to making dollars per month, because when she caught the vision, her brain translated and started giving her information in line with it that will get her attention. And she acted on it. It changed the course of everything. She paid for a class that taught her this freelancing thing and everything. And that is it. How in a space of few months, from somebody who is begging to have a 100K job to getting more than 100K a week or in a job, getting dollars because that, but are you telling me that opportunity has not always been there? No, the person has been posting, she follows the person, but her brain did not give her that attention. It did not stick to her because of the RAS. That's your reticular activating system. So you see somebody who wants to start a business will start to see resources, or you want to pivot, or you want to expand your business to another state, or you want to expand your business times 100 or whatever it is. You see potential partners that you have overlooked before. You know this language that they say, whatever was in your shokoto, and what you're looking for in Sokoto is in your shokoto. Yes, opportunities are always around us. But the problem is your RAS has not been able to get your attention to it because your RAS has not filtered. It has not gotten your vision, and it has not filtered information based off that. Because of time, let me not dwell on that. I hope you get this. I hope you get this. This is powerful. Number 2, visualization and neural pathways. We're talking about visualization and vision boarding. Studies show that when you vividly imagine a goal, it activates the same brain region as physically achieving it. Oh my God. Remember what I said earlier, that your brain does not know what is real and imagined. There was a video I watched, was it Bankole Williams? I don't know how many people know him, on his Instagram, where he said about he took Amstel malts. It's so funny. And I've actually heard it before. I'll just paraphrase that he took Amstel malt, and after finished drinking, he was fine. Then he went online or something like that in that line. I'll just paraphrase so you get the point. And then they started sharing circulars that Amstel malt is fake and everything, and that he's going to cause that you've taken cancer and something like that. I don't know. Do you know that immediately fear? Imagine just drinking Amstel malt and you finished everything, and you are getting news report that this thing that you've taken is poison. He started feeling sick. Have you not noticed it? It has happened to me before, not Amstel malt, but where you see some. There are many examples to this I can give. Why? Because your brain caught that fear and your brain sent a message to your body. You've taken poison, oh. You've taken poison. Oh, yeah, start reacting, oh. It's poison, oh. Okay, your body starts to align with that reaction. That's what you see when we're talking about vision body. People think it's aspire to perspire. Check it. Everybody who achieves certain things consistently, they know this principle. It's even in the Bible. Let every man be a liar, but God be true. It's in the Bible. And so what visualization does is that it activates the same brain region as physically achieving it. So you might not physically achieve it yet. That's why you see, sometimes I see myself doing things and I'm like, but I've done this thing before. It's not just deja vu. Sometimes you have acted it, you have lived it in the spirit realm. You have lived it in your mind, and that's why it seems familiar. You see, I easily do certain things because I've done it. Oh, I want this presentation. I've done the presentation in my head. I've seen people's life being changed. So when it happens, it's no longer new. It's now familiar to me because my brain, has been activated. I have vividly imagined it. So whatever it is you want to achieve this year, or whatever level you want to get to this year, vividly imagine it. Your brain would think it is already achieving it. And what that does, it begins to draw things to you. You see, the law of attraction, we think these things are real. I need all of us to step into it. And then your visualization reinforces belief and motivation. And so I want us to go through a 5-minute visualization exercise now. Imagine achieving a key goal. Imagine it. You can do this after when you are sure and gotten clarity for the goal. Or if you have, focus on your sensory details. What you see. What are you seeing? What you hear. What are you hearing? How do you feel? Your emotions, everything must be part of visualization. It must be part. Your visualization is not just saying things, so you must feel it. How do you feel when you're achieving it? So the excitement, feel it. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What did you notice during the visualization? Then you use it to stay motivated. Number 3, emotions drive action. Yes. Emotions drive actions, and emotions are tied to your vision. So you see joy, pride, peace. They are powerful motivators more than logic. And so the stronger emotional connection to your vision, the more committed you will be. And that's why people say attach a why to your goal. Why are they saying that? Emotions. Oh, I want to do this because I need to make my parents proud. Have you not seen that people who have such solid emotional tie to a goal get it done? Because even in the face of challenges, because there's an emotional attachment to that goal, they are committed to make it real. And so vision casting is not passive. When we're talking about visioning, we think it's a passive thing. No, I want to act. No, it is the fundamental. It requires clarity and action. Writing your vision down will help you bring accountability. Remember, God is the ultimate visionary. We are the one, we are following his footsteps. But think about it, from creation to redemption, God had a clear plan. And it was executed with precision. Why? Because he had a vision. And so your life should reflect this intentionality as well. Let's move over to section 2, crafting your vision statement. You need to be able to answer your question, who are you becoming? That's what your vision statement is. How many people here have a vision statement? You don't have it. I'm a doer. It's not by mouth. I want to, and many people say, it's just money I want to make. All these things you are saying does not concern me. And that's why we hustle. We have the hustling mentality. Get it right. When you get it right, the right things come to you. Simple. So your vision statement answers, who are you becoming? What impact do you want to make? How much freedom do you need for that? Freedom could be either money. That's where you start to access. Is it money? Is it people? Is it general resources? So how do you create your vision statement? Number 1, you visualize your future, close your eye, imagine 5, 10 years. This thing I'm talking about is beyond 2025. If you want to do goal setting, I've said it before. Smart goals, go and set your goals. It's fine. It's work. So, visualize your future. What are you doing now? Who are you surrounded by? How are you serving others? What emotions do you feel? Number 2, anchor it in values. Remember, we talked about your anchors. Your values, what values are non-negotiable for you? Even in marriage, there are some things you'll be like, because nobody is perfect. But what are the things that are non-negotiable? That if this thing happens, nothing, no, it's non-negotiable. You must have it. Because that's it. Number 3, use the meta model that I taught you. Now use it for clarity. Don't have a vague statement. Don't say, I want to be successful. What do you mean? What is success? What does success mean to me, to you? Is it financial freedom? Is it influence? Is it something else? Rather, you can refine it. I want to build a profitable coaching business that impacts 1,000 professionals, annually making $40,000. Can you see? That's still goal setting, right? But we've used meta model. It's the same thing. Clarity, SMART goal. I want to build a profitable coaching business that impacts 1,000 professionals annually, making $40,000. Powerful. Use this to also do yours. Write it down. When you combine all of these insights, you have a concise, powerful statement. For example, I can say my vision statement. This is just an example. I am a transformational leader, helping 1 million professionals worldwide achieve peak performance through faith-based principles and innovative solutions or systems. That's a vision statement, right? It is stemming from your goal. Your goal, you want to make 40,000, yeah, but your vision statement. Number 3, your vision board. It's not just a collage of pictures. You dump pictures. This thing is fine. You add it to your vision board. It is a strategic tool for focus and alignment. So you need to create a vision board that works. Let me see if I have it. I will not talk too much about this, please. I need to move. Oh my God. I said this was supposed to be a physical class that would take 4-5 hours, but I just left my script as it is. Maybe I'll have to skip things. So creating a vision board that works, get your visuals. It should be emotional. You can add. So my vision board, I will show you a part of it here in my board. That's on my phone. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? So on my vision board, you see things like exceedingly abundantly. You can see super mom. You can see super wife. So I'm putting pictures, but I'm also putting Bible quotations. I'm putting affirmations. I'm placing it strategically on my phone where I'm seeing it daily. You can review. Don't be static. Your vision can be transformational. It can also transcend, right? So you need to review and update. I'm not saying change because it didn't happen. And you can use it for years as well. One vision board can be used for years. Right. The next point, go and read more about vision boarding. Let's talk about opportunity mapping, because the DOERS system needs opportunity. So vision without opportunity is a missed connection. So here is a step for opportunity mapping. I was supposed to show you a board, yeah, something like this. So put a draw a square, right, and then divide into 4. So you're having a quadrant, right? On one hand of it, the first left of it, put high alignment and high impact, right? The second part puts high alignment and low impact. The third down, you put low alignment and high impact. Then under the other one, you put low alignment and low impact. This is powerful. Please, I need you to follow this. So how do you do opportunity mapping? Because many of us, we are missing opportunities because we cannot even map. So opportunities are strategic. They are saying don't miss opportunities. Opportunities are, how can you map it so that you catch it? Number one, you start with your vision, of course, because not every opportunities are meant for you. Not every help is helpful. So ask yourself, this opportunity, what opportunities will move me to the vision that I already have? So now that you have this quadrant, this is called the 4 quadrants, we now ask you, for every opportunity that comes, you have this box, right? Ask yourself, is it high alignment? Is it aligning with my overall vision? Is it high impact? Does it have any impact on my overall vision? For example, my vision is to be a transformational leader. This webinar is an opportunity mapping, for example. Is it a high alignment stuff? Is it in alignment with my vision? Yes. Is it high impact? Yes, it's going to impact my overall vision of building transformational leaders and all. What do? I prioritize immediately. You see, the problem is that we don't know what to prioritize, and that's why we are everywhere doing nothing, busy achieving some things maybe, but not consistently. The second part, ask yourself, okay, is it a high alignment? Yes. It actually aligns to my vision. Does it have a low impact right now? Will it impact on this vision that I'm setting to do? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so it's a low impact. I will still do it, but let me consider it for later. So there is urgency, there's emergency. There are some tasks that are urgent, even if it's urgent, but it is not relevant. And don't worry, nobody will die. Keep it. You see, so that's why we need to balance it. So it must be aligned, but it must also have impact. The third one, low alignment. This is a nice to do. So for example, this is an example. Put it in your business, or even if you are an undergraduate, whatever it is you're doing, this works for everything, even in your marriage. Low alignment. Okay, does this align? It's nice, so it's nice to have, but I mean, it's not necessary. You can do without it. So okay, it's low alignment. But does it have a high impact? Currently, yes. Yeah, because I mean, for example, a goal like this could be high alignment could be if you're a big business owner, you're looking to build structure. Low alignment, graphic design. Is it good? Yes, I mean, you need it. It aligns to your vision of making plenty money from your clients. High impact means will it impact on you making sales immediately? Yes, but because it's a low alignment to the overall vision, what do? I can delegate it. For those of you who have the flexibility, it's very important. Oh, it's only me that know how to do this thing. I don't know how to send. So, oh God, you're not operating on a high vision yet. So there's low alignment, low impact. Discard it. So it means it might be good. Your low alignment and low impact activity or opportunity might be mine for high alignment and high impact. So you're not comparing, let me say people here, Best or Uyeme or whoever. It's not about what they are doing. It's about my own vision. And I'm able to use this quadrant to know this opportunity, this speaking engagement they asked me to come. Is it a high alignment activity? Is it a high impact activity? I prioritize. But in the face of other, then if maybe it's not a high impact activity and I have time, I can do it, but I must not do it. I can consider it for later. Let's move because of time. Let's move. There's something called the science of spotting opportunities. I've mentioned this before. If you focus on buying a red car, suddenly you start seeing red cars everywhere. If you tell yourself today, I want to, and you are convinced about it, I want to make $10,000, or I want to expand to another city, maybe Abuja or something, you go to your feed. You see, you start to see those opportunities in line with that because that's where you're focused on. So as you practice identifying and seizing opportunity, your brain will rewire yourself to make it a second nature. So at first, it might not be easy, but when you consistently do it, you're building a muscle for it. So today, I want us to do a practical exercise. That's another exercise we're doing. We've done 2 before. Write down your top 3 goals from your vision casting exercise, right? From the vision, from the overall vision, write down top 3 goals and then spend about 5 minutes visualizing those goals, repeating your affirmation. For example, I attract opportunities that align with my purpose and vision. And then you can now create your opportunity mapping for it. Sometimes you cannot even create it yet, but because you are aligned, you will know. So when an opportunity comes, quickly run a check. Okay, high alignment, low impact, high alignment, low impact, and you quickly seize it. Now let's move over. Number 2 of the DOER system. Please, if you've gotten something so far, let me know. I'm trying to really, really rush. Oh, you said your screen is not showing. Is it showing now?
Okay. It's showing. We can see it well.
Okay. All right. So I'm really just rushing this. Oh God, I wish I had time, but we just have to do this. Let me talk too fast. Now we have done design, right? We've designed. Please know that this will end as just talk if you don't practice. So just try to get something today. Sit down and try to refresh and write down design. Now let's optimize. Oh, now you visioned casted. You've gotten your blueprints from God, and everything that He has laid in your heart, right? Number 2, optimize. It's simple. What resources, tools, or habits will help me achieve this goal? Now we're talking about systems over willpower. Many people are stuck not because they lack ability, but because they lack structure. They have goals, but no strategy. They have passion, but they don't have process. They have inspiration, but they don't have infrastructure. It's like trying to build a exciting. I'm building a skyscraper. Oh my God. It's destined to fail. So we need to be able to put structure, and people feel like structure is it's lack of freedom. No. So it's a result of a system that works. That's how you begin to optimize. What you don't structure will eventually self-destruct. So behind every sustainable success you are seeing, sustainable, I'm not talking about one man hit and go. One man hit and go. You get one client that will give you big money, all of a sudden next time it's next 2 years. It's not sustainable because you don't have a system that replicates and duplicates the success that you've touched. So your talent will get you noticed. Your skill is important. Remember, I talked about competence. I talked about character. I talked about capacity. But structure will keep you relevant. Imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint, or you are running a marathon. You do not do any training, or there's no structure. And that's how many of us are living, without intentional structure. And structure is not such a big word. Yes, for some people, depending on the level you are, it has to be complicated. I mean, it has to be well detailed. But don't worry, let me get right into it. Right. What did I write here? Questions to reflect on. Let me not get into that yet. So we need to understand that there are certain myths. Some people think, what is system? It's simple. System is your set of habits. Simple. They are your routines. They are the tools that automate your progress. We're talking about AI now. We'll talk about AI briefly. Because many of you, I don't use AI. That's your business. You don't want to. Oh, no sound.
We can hear you.
Oh, somebody said no sound. Oh,
we can hear you.
We can hear you very well, ma.
Okay. All right. So let me talk about briefly 3 myths about structure. Number 1, some people say structure is restrictive. But the truth of the matter is that structure frees you from decision fatigue and misaligned priority. Remember what I said about your brain. Your brain will just go and sleep. Sorry. If you are giving it, plenty things to choose from. Your brain wants to easily make decisions. And that's why you're overwhelmed, because there's plenty things. So structure helps you when you know in the morning. I mean, why do we do food roster? That's structure. Do you know? Because it has taken the responsibility of decision every single time you want to cook. And that's one thing I have to redeploy. I stopped it. And every single time I'm asking my husband, what are we going to eat? The time I'm using to ask him, time has gone. I'm already getting tired. Everybody's tired. And I'm even angry because I'm thinking about what is someone going to eat. The man is not even helping. He never suggests anything is fine. Women, you can relate, Abby. Anything is fine. But what does the food? I'm just using this as an example. You see, as small as this shows you the power. When you put your food roaster, I remember when we were growing up, we put it on the fridge. Monday, egg and bread. It doesn't mean there will be no flexibility sometimes, but your structure frees you from decision fatigue. You enter the kitchen, even before then, you already know that this is what I want to do. Your brain is ready for action, not for starting to reassess. No. Myth number 2. I'm not a systems person. I'm not a structure person. I beg. I'm very flexible. Every successful person relies on systems. But the point is, they just build the one that works for them. So when I'm talking about system and structure, I'm not saying go and carry another thing that's working for somebody else. No, just know what works for you. Myth number 3. I'll create structure when I'm less busy. The truth of the matter is that structure is the cure for busyness. When you're busy achieving nothing, it's because you are too busy and you don't have structure. And so the longer you delay, the more busy you get, and the less, who is presenting? Oh my God, stop presenting. I need to go off my slide to Zoom, to Google Meet to remove you. Please stop presenting. So let me just put my settings and stop anybody from presenting. How do I? Okay. I'm just going to remove the person from the call. Just remove. All these distractions, but we'll get this. Okay, you can still see my screen. Okay, great. So we're talking about structure. Look at creation as the first system. When God created the world, he didn't do it in chaos. He followed a divine system. What did you do first? Number one, he separated light from darkness. Structure, system. To know that for you to do other things, you need light. He knew. Then he separated land from water. Then he organized day, life into day. Do you see? Do you understand? I mean, so even the creator valued structure. Noah's Ark, for example, God gave Noah precise dimension and instruction for building the ark as a God of structure. Because without details, that ark wouldn't have survived the flood. Look at another structure, Moses and delegation. When Moses tried to handle all the leadership tasks himself, I'm talking to somebody here who feels they're the only one that can do their business, as in they don't need help, they don't want a team. What did his father-in-law Jethro tell him? The father-in-law told him that to create a system by appointing capable leaders. That is structure. So structure can be your habit, structure can be the people that you work with, structure can be having a volunteer, structure can be, you see, what structure and system help you to do is to streamline repetitive tasks. So you don't have to start the setup system over and over again. And it helps you free time for creativity and strategy. Structure can get you through a season, but system will sustain you. So we're talking about sustainable success here. You need systems in place so that you don't always waste your energy trying to figure out what your mind. The example of the food I talked about. I'm not spending time always asking my husband, what are we eating this night? When I have a system, a structure, a roster, everybody, it helps. So let's move. I wanted to talk about what happens without structure, but I would bounce that, please. What I would do is maybe I'll just share my slide because I don't have time anymore. So let's just move. Let's do a personal audit. I think I'll just skip to that. Or quickly, let's just reflect. So write down quickly, what areas of my life lack structure? Write it down. For me, I'm being truthful. My kitchen. Because as little as having a roster, I need to have it back. Just so that I'm not always bugging this man and disturbing him and disturbing myself every single day. What am I going to cook? It makes my life easier. So ask yourself, I'm genuine. What area of my life lacks structure? Am I relying on passion alone without putting processes in place for that passion? What system do I need to create today to make my tomorrow easier? I have also started every night I write what I need to write, what I need to do tomorrow. I don't joke with my to-do lists and not to-do lists. I don't joke with it. I have it on my phone. Everywhere I have the written paper on, I have the note on. Yes. Because it makes my tomorrow easy. I'm waking up, I already know what the intentions, I set intentions for the day. That is structure. Don't wake up without setting intentions for the day. It doesn't mean I am not open to flexibility. Remember, structure also works with flexibility. Structure does not mean you are rigid. No, I think that's the myth people have. And then I also use tools to help me for time management. I use calendars. I have my Google Calendar. That's thank God for technology and AI. I have my time blocking hours where I need to organize my day. Even my husband, sometimes he has synced some activity with mine. As little of as my baby preparation for school, I have it in our calendar, in his own calendar. Yes, it's simple. You need to organize your day because the money you are looking for, money will run away where there's chaos. So money only likes structure. Check it. All the people who have been able to sustain wealth was as a result of system. Money would only flow where there is structure. Right? For learning, oh, I'm in school. Put structure to it. Dedicate specific time that you need to read weekly or take courses. Who is this person? People who should help me, oh, please. All right. For health, I talked about meal prep. Another structure I know I do very well is I batch cook. Those of you that do fresh cook every day, cooking every day. I mean, I cook every day, but I mean, in terms of fresh soup and fresh stew, the Lord is your strength. That is, in fact, you have a calling for that. I appreciate and I honor you for that. Me, I don't have that strength for it. I'm calling. So I meal prep on weekends. Sometimes you have to set workout schedules, track your process. So now let's just do a personal audit. Pause and ask yourself, do I have a rhythm to my day? Am I just careless every morning as I wake up as it be? Chris, Sarah, whatever will be. No. You need to set intentions, and that is structure. You're not winging it. Anyhow, we go just wing them. Are your goals supported by actionable systems, or you're just hoping for the best? You set goals because you want to set goals. What part of your life do you feel chaotic? For me, I've mentioned kitchen, and I've received deliverance. See, as I'm teaching this, and I'm teaching myself too. God is ministering to me too. But you need to be sincere. Ask yourself now, as I'm talking to you, what part of my life feels overwhelming? What part of my life feels chaotic? And then what systems do I need to bring in that will bring order to this area? It can be as little as a checklist. For me, it's simple. Roster, batch cooking, market runs once a month. Bring, order to your life. So practical framework to build structures. I'm sorry, I'm rushing. Number one, start with what is broken. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. So there's something working in your life. Don't try to change everything. There's something working in your business. Don't try to change and revamp everything. Identify the areas where the chaos is stealing your peace and progress, and then change it. Is it your finances? Is it your relationship? Is it your spirituality? Start there from that one space, and then you begin to optimize in other places. Number two, build daily routines and reading. Great lives are built on consistent days. Your year is a makeup of today. Your year is today. 2025 is today. When tomorrow comes, 2025 is tomorrow. 2025 starts in a day, is a day first. And then the compilation of that day is what you now call, I had a good year. So create routines, morning routines that ground you. For us, our morning devotion. Some people, they have to work out. Some people take jogging, whatever it is. Weekly reflections. Do weekly reflections to recalibrate. You can do end of the day routine or rituals to disconnect and rest. Number three, document and delegate. This is how to build structures that last. I'm not even talking on an organizational level because that is more detailed. This is just general personal effectiveness and efficiency level. If you're overwhelmed, chances are that you're doing too much. Yes. Write down repetitive tasks. What are the things that you always have to consistently do? Ask yourself, how can I automate it? Or how can I delegate it? And then you free yourself for what truly matters, especially if you're a CEO or you are, you have people that you can assign these things to. Number four, set accountability measures. Listen, and there's something I want to share with everybody here today about accountability. Systems thrive on accountability. Find mentors, use tools, or partner with somebody, even if it's a friend, who can help you stay consistent, because this thing is still flesh. Who said it? Apostle Paul. My spirit is willing, my flesh is weak. That's the reality of it. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Share screen. The screen is on. So set accountability measures. I want everybody to click on this link I just dropped in the. In fact, I wanted to announce it later, but I would just have to put it up here now. I'm so happy to announce that I am launching a tool. I wanted to do an accountability program, but no, I don't think I have. You see, I did. So what I wanted to do, it was exciting to do, and it's also going to be valuable. But when I did opportunity mapping, I checked it. High compatibility, high impact ratio. And I saw that it was nice. It had a high impact, but it wasn't fully fit for my vision at this time. And that's why I canceled it. So even the things you want to launch, the products you want to launch, the things you want to do, run it through that opportunity quadrant that I gave to you. And you'll see that sometimes the things that we think are important are actually not what matters at this season of our lives. And so I'm so proud to announce this is the perks of getting married to a tech bro. And myself and my husband have partnered together. I'll still make the proper announcement, and we're launching an AI tool. It's called You Can Do It. So you can just go on your browser and type youcando.it. The wait list, we're going to launch on the first week in February. So not now, we're still, in fact, I was seeing it and I was almost crying. God was basically giving my husband the template on what to build and how to do it. And we are so sure that this year, remember we're talking about Doer strategy blueprints, nobody is left behind. You're able to do all that God has put in your heart, but you need accountability. And so just so that we don't have the human interference, maybe I might be busy and other people, we have created a tool. It's called the You Can Do It app. Is your accountability body and partner that will keep you accountable. On that app, on this AI tool, it will give you reminders. Not only giving you reminders, you set your intentions, you set your goals. It will give you breakdown of how you achieve those goals. Based off it, you can set your tasks, you can put timeline and deadlines. It will give you streaks. There's a whole lot. I'm going to show you later. Don't worry. Let's get into what we're doing. So just quickly go, register, join the waitlist. Just join the waitlist, put your email address, and you'll be the first to know about when we launch. We're planning a massive launch very soon, okay? You can do.it. You can do.it. You, not Y-O-U. Now, you, like the pigeon U. You, letter U. You can do.it. So do it now and just join the waitlist. So I talked about set accountability metrics and measures like using the You Can Do app, and then evolve your system. No system is perfect forever. So whatever is working, double down on it, revisit and adjust them as your life and goals evolve. So what worked last year might not serve you this year, but what worked last year might also serve you this year. If you have a goal last year that is still relevant, why do you need to change it? Because 2025 is a new year. You can carry over goals. Yes, there's nothing bad. Some people say, God forbid, no, it's okay. Right? So whatever worked last year that is still serving you, you can still do it. Number 6, automate what you can. Technology can handle repetitive tasks for you. Automate your bill payments. Automate your saving plans. Set reminders for important days. You don't need to put your brain so much on thinking about irrelevant things. When AI, your smartphone, many people are using iPhone, they don't even know what it's for, can help you. You can use your apps to track your habits. Yes, we also have a habit tracker in this AI tool. Oh my God. Powerful tool we're building here. So join the checklist. So we're talking about optimize now, right? How do you do that? You streamline your workflows and tools for efficiency. There's something called decision fatigue. Studies have shown that when you're making too many decisions at the same time, it drains your mental energy, and that's why you cannot execute, because you have planned and strategized and decided so much so that your energy is already drained on that first phase and you cannot now do. So now I'm calling everybody why it's okay to vision cast, strategize, and do all of that. To optimize in execution, you must reduce as many decision-making process as possible. To optimize, you must be able to automate and delegate where possible. You know the example of Obama and Steve Jobs. In fact, let me not even talk about Steve Jobs. You know, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, where they say he's always wearing one black top. Yeah, that's a strategy. They wore, even Barack Obama, they said that he wore the same clothes every day to work. Do you know what he just did? Simplifying decision making. He was just basically conserving mental energy. It is very simple. I don't have to think about what to wear, because I mean, if it's going to be difficult, especially for us ladies, to match and mix, let me just stick to one style. Have you not seen certain personal brands that wear black or wear white? It's a strategy. You can use this same strategy in every other aspect of your life. Some people do on Sundays, they just create everything they're going to wear for the week. That is it. Decision fatigue. They are trying to conserve mental energy. You can use tools like Notion. Who knows Notion? It's very difficult for me. I told my husband to teach me. I'm trying to learn it. You can use Trello to automate your tasks. Simplify your workflow. Get into AI tools, please. Now is not the time to say, I'm not techie. If there's any system that is repeated, if there's any routine that you do over and over again, why do you need to burn mental energy to keep doing it if it can be automated? Number 2, flow state. Flow is when you are completely immersed in a task and it feels effortless. That's a sweet spot for productivity. So there's something called the Pomodoro technique, 20 minutes of focused work. If you want to be a doer this year, you must have time slots for focused work. So 25 minutes, you are pouring it, or 1 hour as the case may be, works for you. Meaning you are shutting down every other thing except it's an emergency and focusing on that work. Then you can have a 5 minutes break to stretch. You can use a timer to stay disciplined. The first time you try it to be hard, it will be difficult. Your mind will be roaming. It happens in prayer too, where you're trying to discipline yourself to pray. You can use a timer. There are many life optimizing tools. To be a doer, you must optimize. We have Trello, we have Asana, even Google Sheets, if you cannot use Notion. Google Docs for task management. You can do top priority activity, in progress, complete on your, I wish I could show you this, on your Google Sheets. And so optimizing your work system is not just about efficiency, it's about giving your best efforts. So I need you to reflect on this. Where in my life do I feel the most disorganized and inconsistent? Maybe I need to optimize the system there. What system can I create today in my life or in my business to make it more manageable? Am I willing to let go of old habits that no longer serve me to be able to build better structures and systems? Because habits is a core foundation of your system. I have a goal. I want to write a book in 6 months and make so. Put up your goal in a smart way. System is simple. Writing down the things. I'm going to write 500 words daily at 6 a.m. That's a system. And then using a timer to stay focused. And then celebrating every completed chapter with a reward. Having an accountability partner. Do you see that the thing we're calling system is not even so broad? This is system. And so you can design your system in any of your goals by breaking it into daily habits, weekly reviews, monthly milestones. The app and the tool that we're building for you can help you do all of this. So ask yourself as we move over to execute. I'm moving to the E now, so we wrap up. What areas of my life currently operate on autopilot? Are those systems serving me or sabotaging me? How can I align my structures with the seasons for my life? And so this is a call to action. Structures and systems are not just tools, although tools are part of it. They are expression of faith. When you are intentionally building systems, you are saying to yourself, I am worthy of order. And I said money flows to only a place that is structured. You are telling yourself, I am worthy of order. I am worthy of purpose. I am worthy of peace. You are also telling God, I trust you to guide the framework of my life. And so I'm setting structure in place to make that happen. Your life is too important to live unstructured. If God himself saw the need and the value of systems, why shouldn't you? And so your life is only as solid as the structure you build to support it. Without systems, your dreams will just be ideas. It will never take flight. Or even if you fly, it will be like, I don't know. All right. So let's move over. Before we move over, I'll just ask you one question. What will you build today? What structure are you going to build today? What structure are you going to build today? Number 3, execute. Let me see if I can do this between 20 minutes. Execute and the R. Let's talk about the neuroscience of goal achievement. Now you have designed. Now you have optimized. Then execute. Let me see if I have any question in the comment section. If you're following, please let me know you're following. Okay. Please, if you're following, just type in the comment that you're ready to go. Execute. Great. Now, there are 2 things I would like to talk about under the neuroscience of goal achievement. That's your dopamine and motivation as number 1. And then your neuroplasticity and repetition. You don't need to cram it. Just get the idea behind this, okay? Number 1, dopamine and motivation. This is a neurotransmitter that drives motivation. You see, motivation is very important. I'm not talking about just motivational speakers. I'm talking about the internal drive now. Now, the brain releases dopamine not only when you achieve a goal, but also when you make measurable progress.
The screen is not showing.
My screen is showing.
Please go on, it's showing.
Can I come in? You know, if your screen
Yes.
is not showing, why don't you scroll up to the end part? Because if you scroll down to the last slide, you might not see her screen.
Okay. Please, you both should take note of that. So I was talking about it. Have you noticed that if you set that, I want to, for example, I want to clean my house. my house is very dirty or it's very chaotic, and I start. Do you know that when you finish a particular, have you not noticed that even when you are not done, when you enter your sitting room and you see that you've mopped, you feel a sense of accomplishment already?
Yes, again, do what I ask you to do.
Have you not noticed that? Let me
remove that.
Okay. Have you not noticed that, for example, I want to write a book. When you complete, like even if it's half of the book, you already feel like an author. It's your brain. Your brain releases dopamine, not only when you've achieved a goal, but when you make measurable progress towards it. And that's why we always say perfection, not progress. Start something. Start with what you have. The Bible was telling us what you have in your hand, use it. And that's why we need to break goals into smaller milestones. I said it. Stretch, get a very big goal. Have a vision that is bigger than you that will stretch you. But break it into smaller tasks so that you're able to hit one, you're able to hit two, and your brain tells you, oh, she started making progress. Oh, and it sends motivation. Because you see that you're already making progress in it. It gingers you. I don't know, am I saying something that is not true? Have you not noticed that when you start doing something and you are seeing results? Okay, for example, your goal is to get 10 clients this month. Have you noticed that if you get your first client, the excitement that comes with getting that one, your goal is not 1, your goal is 10. But because you started making progress, and then when you move to getting the 5th client, you have not hit the goal. The ginger, it will give you autopilot to keep doing. And that's the principle of execution. This is a secret many people don't know. That excitement, exactly. The excitement gives you the energy, it jumpstarts you. This is executors, people who execute, people who are doers. This is what they ride on. They set their goals, but they break it into milestones so that they anchor on one achievement and use it. The ginger, that's what we call it, but it's dopamine. The ginger, because we've achieved or made measurable progress towards it, makes us to continue to move. Another aspect of the neuroscience of goal achievement is what we call the neuroplasticity and repetition. Now, the brain rewires itself through consistent action. When you keep doing something over and over again, you get used to it. The brain gets used to it. Remember the story of the lion or goat? I don't know if you remember that. I can't remember the story. I was young when I heard it. And then it grew up together. Or was it cats that lived with the chicken? And it grew up together. Who knows the story? And started living with the chicken and started eating what the chickens were eating. And because of that, it started behaving like a chicken. It forgot who it was, the identity and the core of who it was. That's because over time, it started to behave like the chicken. And so what repetition does is very powerful. Small repeated steps over time will build a neural pathway in your brain that makes new habits automatic over time. You see what they say, consistent doing over 21 days, they give it 21 days. If you're doing something consistently, you begin to operate from a place of flow. And so to become somebody who executes, get that small step that you need to do every day. In the first 21 days, you might struggle with it, keep at it. And so remember, when you start driving, when you're learning to drive, it's very difficult. And because I have driven over time, do you know, it's no longer a struggle every time I get to my car. It's easy. It becomes, what do they call this thing? Oh, the ego and the chicken. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you. That's so perfect. It's the same thing when you wake up at a specific time every day. I remember one time my auntie was preparing for ICANN exam and she had to wake up at 2 a.m. every day to read. And because she had to do that consistently for more than 3 months, do you know after she wrote her exam, she was still waking up at 3 a.m. No alarm. Nothing had to wake her up. You see, this is science. There's a reason why God created. Let's leverage on these things. When you keep doing something over time, it will no longer become a struggle. So how do you understand? Let's understand how the brain responds. I really do wish I had some as I was wanting me to make him an admin. I just had started before doing that, and I didn't want to interrupt the call. I needed somebody to help me with the meeting, but I'll do that. Now, how do you understand? Sorry, we'll soon get into the meat of it. I need you to understand. Be with me. This is just a 30-minute stuff. Invest in this. We're teaching deep stuff, and I'm trying to rush it at the same time. I hope you're getting it. Understanding how the brain responds to action. Let me zoom it. Number one, now we've understood the role of dopamine in motivation, right? It activates your motivation in action and execution. I've talked about that. What's the next thing to do? I've also talked about the power of decision fatigue and how to avoid it, right? Try to make things easy for your brain, reduce decisions. Steve Jobs was wearing one outfit every day and all of that. Now, there's something called activation energy. Many of us, we have designed, we have optimized, we don't have energy. This is often the first step, and it's the hardest. The brain seeks comfort. Let me not lie. The brain naturally seeks comfort, and procrastination is the result of avoiding discomfort. So your brain, you see, that's why they are siblings in some way. Your brain empowers the procrastination if you allow it, if you don't train it, because your brain actually wants comfort, and procrastination is empowering comfort. So your brain will like the procrastination, right? But you need to have an activation energy. Activation energy is when I think about something and I've planned to do it, I don't wait, I do it immediately. So it's very important, or at least I set motions for it immediately, even if I need strategies and time to plan it. Activation energy means first step. The first step you take is always the hardest. Remember, when you are starting a big project, you might first of all feel overwhelmed. But when you break it into smaller tasks and you start, the first step, the moment you start and activate it, it opens up a burst of energy. I don't know if people relate to this. Many people already operate in it, but they don't know the name. It is called activation energy. And that's why when God tells me to do something or I want to do something, my starting is important, because the energy at which I start is what I'll use to sustain. You see me, I'm doing this because I understand the thing called activation energy. As a doer, if you want to achieve at certain levels beyond what you've achieved before, you need activation energy. If you sit down to start, what's the word? Analysis paralysis, you are draining the activation away. I'm not saying don't strategize. We need strategy. But you also need to prioritize activation. Number two, habit stacking. I don't know how many people have read James Clear, Atomic Habits. I need to go read it. It explains how, the summary of it is, it explains how you stack a new habit on an existing one. So I want to build a new habit because it's hard, it's difficult. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. Even me, there are things I said I want to do, I don't get to do everything. At the same time, so what I do is a strategy. So for example, if you already make your bed every morning, it's a habit that you have, that when you wake up, you make your bed. That is a habit, right? And you need a new habit of, let's say, I want to start journaling, because you understand the importance of setting intentions for the day. So starting your day right. That's the activation energy. The energy at which you wake up in the morning is the energy which you sustain. That's why I start my morning with prayer. I need to activate it right. Energy. I wake up, I'm not waking and sluggish as if I just woke up from sleeping. No. Right? Activation energy. So what I do is habit hacking. I am stacking. The journaling, I'll stack it on making my bed, which is already a habit for me. Right? I already do it with ease. So what I would say is immediately after laying my bed, I would journal for like 5 minutes immediately afterwards. You don't need to say 30 minutes because you are still trying to introduce yourself to this system. So what I need you to do today, identify 3 or 4 or 5 core habits that you know that you need. Remember, optimization, you need habits to optimize. That you know aligns with your long-term vision. Then integrate it into your current routine. Because if you try to do it on its own, your strength will fail you. Your strength will fail you. So try to anchor it. For example, eating. You know you must eat every morning for those people that take breakfast. Anchor something on eating, or brushing. We know you must brush your teeth every morning. So maybe I want to build a habit of affirmations or speaking in tongues. Why every morning? I need to stack it on brushing, because I must brush. So I'll combine it, because there's no how I will not brush in the morning. So I put it together with that habit and do it. So I'll see myself with time. It becomes easier for me until the habit becomes a core of itself. Right? So 2 things I have said: activation energy, how you start. Start. It is hard, but start. Number 2, habit stacking. Now, how do we build the execution habit? Somebody that does. A doer is by establishing consistency in action. Number 1, power of consistent action. Now, I think I need to wrap up. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I skip? Consistent action. For example, I want to save $5 a day. When I consistently save $5 a day, at the end of the year, I've saved $1,825, right? It's small, but it's powerful. It shows how small, consistent actions can create long-term success. As opposed to say, I'm going to save $1,825 at the end of the year or at once. Please be truthful, Rita, or anybody here, Sharon, tell me, which is easier, saving $5 a day and saving $1,825 a day? Which one is easier? Which one do you think you can do? I mean, depending on your level, some people can easily do 1,825 a day. But the point is, small, consistent actions every day. So I want to be a firebrand Christian. Instead of setting intentions at 1 hour every time, how about I start 10 minutes and from there I progress? Number 2 is the habit loop. Habit loop. How do you leverage it? Oh, there's a lot. There are 3 elements. There's something called the cue, the routine, and the reward. That's how habits are formed. You must always have a cue. That's the thing that you throw it in. Then you must have a routine, and then you must have a reward. I need to run fast. Because when we're talking about executing the doer's blueprint, procrastination cannot be found in your dictionary. And how do you overcome procrastination? There's a psychology of procrastination. Number 1, you need to first of all understand the root cause of procrastination. Procrastination is not the lack of time. It's not even the lack of willpower. It's an emotional response to tasks that feel overwhelming. Seeing the term, I watched one of her videos where she talked about procrastination. It was so powerful. I want you to go and watch it. So I won't dwell much on this. Just go on YouTube and type Seeing the Term. She just did it, I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. Right? She spoke on procrastination and it's so powerful. A perfectionist might procrastinate because they fear the outcome will not be perfect. And so that's why I'm always saying, when it comes to the doer's blueprint, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Today, I want to shed you off that what if not. Oh, let me write the name. Actually, I've stayed at a webinar for 4 hours. For those of you who know DDK, you know that if she's having things like this, it will take, right? For those of you who know Mfon, the blueprint of how coaching fun, I don't know how many people know her. When she's having her webinars like this, we just slot out the whole day. You stay 4 hours. Fine, that's the very least, and she'll still be an introduction. So because these things are not fire brigade, yes, Infonepo, yes, they're not fire brigade. I'm taking my time to really dig deep, so we just have to be patient about this. But I'm still trying to rush. I need to be out of here because I'm also tired. Right. I don't know what I was saying, but let's move to the next point. Embracing imperfection and starting anyway. A doer is somebody who starts anyway. High performers, they often succeed because they embrace imperfection. Execution is not about perfection, it's about progress, right? And so that way you're able to reduce fear. You're able to shed off yourself of fear. I don't know how many people know Richard Branson. These people I'm calling, I need to go and follow them. He's famous for taking risks. He's famous for launching projects. Even before they are perfect, I'm not saying do shabby work. No. Understanding that you become better at doing. So today, I need you to choose one goal or one project and commit to, even if it's imperfect action, act on it, starting this night. Launch it. Do your good work and launch it, knowing that you can improve as you go. because fear often paralyzes execution. No matter how well and fancy and great and airtight your goal setting process is, if you do not know and have the execution blueprint, which removes procrastination, you cannot do. And if you don't do, you can't get results. So number 4, create a system of accountability for execution. I mentioned it in optimization. I'm mentioning it in execution because accountability is important. Accountability is a catalyst for action. Right? And when we share our goals with others, we feel more responsible and motivated to follow through because it's no longer about you anymore. And depending on the kind of people you follow, you share it with, they will show you pepper if you don't achieve it. Right? Have you noticed? And this is studies that this is based on research. Studies shows that on weight loss, so people who work with accountability partners or coaches for weight loss are more likely to achieve their weight loss goals than people who don't. It is a known fact. So action step here today, find an accountability partner. If you need to pay for it, pay for it. There are people that pay 250K for accountability partners, or get a group. The people who are aligned with your goal, and schedule weekly check-in calls, monthly check-in calls, quarterly check-in calls. Set clear deliverables for each meeting. Again, this is where you can do .it comes in. Go right now. Everybody listening to me, type you can do .it. You have not launched yet. Just join the checklist, the wait list. Number 2, what does accountability do? It uses social and professional network to put you in check. High performers always, or not always, often have mentors. They have coaches. They have mastermind groups. It's okay if you have small goals. You can start small, and maybe if you don't have the finance, it's okay. There's something called the low-hanging fruit. You know you want to achieve this, but at this point, get the low-hanging fruit. For example, I want a job that will earn I'll earn 2 million or 5 million a month, but I have a job that is currently giving me 500K. Will I say no? I'm going to be hungry. I will be jobless. I'll be unemployed because it is that one which I seek that I must get. No, you get the low-hanging fruit. You use it, you save money, or use it to get a course you save that will now position you. That's what is called the low-hanging fruit. This, by the way, right? And so high performers often have mentors. These people offer guidance and feedback because feedback is important, and hold them accountable for taking consistent action. In fact, surrounding yourself with doers will make you a doer, because when you see your mates, and I'm not even talking about intimidation, there's a thin line between inspiration and intimidation. Don't go and be intimidated by people, no, but you can be inspired. But when you surround yourself with an intensified arena of people who are doing, it will push you to do. It will push you to do. When you're always seeing somebody who is building stuff. My husband told me that he has a mandate to build how many startups or how many products in a year. I'm not going to mention. Why? I think he read one post where one man was building about 12 or how many products a year. And you see, from that one post, it set off a trigger in him. That's what people can do. He can set off a trigger, like the way Elizabeth, the stomach, the baby in the womb leaped when they saw Mary. That's the same thing. That's what people, accountability drivers, help you to do. They help your baby to leap. So even when you are dragging your feet, because you are surrounded by people who are doing and executing on a daily basis, it pushes you into that atmosphere and into that frequency to begin to do. So how do you break procrastination? We're going to use the meta model that we used before. Example, I am too busy to focus on my goal. Reframe. I will start with 10 minutes today, and then I'll find time as I go. I will find more time as I go. So I'm procrastinating writing my book. I will reframe and tell myself, okay, don't worry, let me just give myself 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And then every day as we go, I will add it. That's the meta reframing. Now, how do you create systems for peak performance? I've mentioned this before. I'm just going to reemphasize. You get your keystone habits, identify one habit that triggers positive change, maybe waking up early. That's a game changer. Waking up early can set the entire course of your day. When you get your morning routine right, every other thing falls in, or many other things fall into place. Number 2, get automation tools. Introduce AI, like you can do .it, Notion, Google Calendar, streamline your workflow. Number 3, batching and time blocking. For example, somebody wants to grow their online presence. You make it into a SMART goal. You create systems. So I'm trying to give you now practical example. Batch content creation every Monday. That's a system. Or every Saturday, I'll sit down and create the content for the entire week. Sometimes I schedule my posts. Number 2, automate social media posts. That's a system. Number 3, I will block 30 minutes every day to engage with my audience. That's a system. Because you already have a clear mapped out system, it becomes easier for you to do. And that way you're able to grow your online presence. So do you see what happens? Keystone habits, automation tools, weekly execution plan. You need your execution plan. And then you need your accountability structure. It can be peer-to-peer accountability, your small concept of your small group. It can be self-check mechanism by journaling. You keep yourself accountable, whatever it is. So let's use an example. This is an example of the Doer system. Let's look at an example. Example, a woman wants to launch a coaching business and she's terrified that no one will buy her services. And despite the fear, she decides to take small actions every day, such as writing one post every day on social media, offering free consultation calls. And then after 1 month, she gains her first client. That will prove to her that consistent, imperfect actions will lead to success. It now validates that whatever she's doing is good. You see? So how do we integrate it into the Doer system? Let me just move to reflect. The R. So remember, D, design. When you design, you optimize the workflow. When you optimize, you execute. Remember your activation energy. Remember accountability. Remember your habit stacking and all of that. And then the R is reflect. R is reflect. This is how you begin to execute. Then reflecting is simple. You measure progress. You adapt when necessary. You adapt when needed. Reflection is key. It helps you to consolidate knowledge, to know what is happening. It helps you to maintain focus, to know what you should focus on. It reactivates the brain that has the learning center. It strengthens your neural pathways to know what is working, what should be adjusted. Every successful person always stops to reflect and assess. I spoke about it earlier, but I wanted to come from another dimension. And because of time, we might not have to go into that. Right? And so self-assessment is very important. As a business owner, at the end of the month, you assess your progress. My business goal I set out, my intention for the month, what happened? You can create a reflection journal, either on your phone or hard book. What worked to get today and what didn't work? What do I need to adjust? All right, so let's just move away from there. Let's move to a practical example. I'm already done. So example, now this is a Doer framework, and this is how I want you to set yours. Based off everything I've been talking in the past 2 hours, how do I set my Doer framework? Remember, it is design, optimize, execute, right? So I have a SMART goal to save $5,000 in 6 months. I put my why and all the other things. I reframe like all the things I have thought. Now the Doer goal will tell you, design a system. This is how you write it. I didn't write it here. This was example. No, this is an example one. Okay. SMART goal says save $5,000 in 6 months. Listen, this is the blueprint. I'm sorry it's not on the screen. The Doer framework tells you, this is how you now write your framework. Design a system to save $5,000 in 6 months. Then you design it by automating savings. It means you're going to automate savings. Every money you come, either piggyvest or whatever it is you use, automatically takes a percentage. Reducing expenses by 20%, knowing because I want to save $5,000 in 6 months, I have to stop this, stop that. And adding one freelance gig monthly. Savings alone might not work. I need to extend or expand my income, my stream of income. So if I'm able to get more money, it will be able to allow me the right or the allowance to save more. Now, do you see that's what the Doer goal does? It has integrated design. It has integrated optimization by automating systems and your savings. It has done your execution. You want to start adding a new freelance gig, and then you will now reflect. So today, I want you to take one goal, start with one, so that you cram, because I've said a lot, so that it gets into your system. Take one goal and reframe your SMART goal using the Doer goal framework I have taught today. So let's look at the example on the screen. An entrepreneur's Doer system. You design, you identify that you need 2 to 3 hours of deep work every morning to write proposal and meet with clients. This example. This is a DOERS system. This is an example. Use it. Sit down today and draft a DOERS system. So every morning, 2 to 3 hours, the first 2 to 3 hours, I'm doing deep work. I need to write proposal because I said I want to make whatever it is I want to make based on my goal. Optimize. Then I'll say, oh, I'm going to use Calendly to schedule my meetings. I can use Zapier for task automation. I can use Evernote. Me, I don't use Evernote. I use my iPhone notepad, or I can use Google Docs. I use those two. I do that a lot. For capturing my ideas, that's optimization, because I'm not leaving things to chance. And then to execute, I will set up a daily habit of working on proposals during my deep hour work of designing. I can use my Pomodoro technique. There's an app you can set up that will do timer for you. Then the hour reflects every evening. I can sit down for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to, if you don't have power to do the big, don't worry, start small. 5 minutes, I'll reflect. After this webinar, I will sit back and do a reflection about this thing. What is it? What went well? Okay. If it didn't go well, what can be improved? If it went well, okay, what can I double down on? What can I, press on? Let's look at the second DOER blueprint. A corporate leader. You define your leadership goals. Oh, I want to move to mid-level or senior level management, including improving my team's morale. I want to enhance productivity, whatever that means. Be specific about it. Then you optimize. How can I optimize? I'm not going to pretend I'm the only person in the world that can do a good job. I will delegate. And if I feel like these people are not doing up to task, I will train them. So you delegate administrative tasks to an executive assistant so you can focus on something that is more strategic. You can set up weekly calls, check up, they call it stand-up meetings, right? For alignment. And so execution, the E, which is execute. Establish a habit of spending at least 30 minutes every morning reading leadership books. It's motivational. Yes. Because you cannot rise above you cannot do above who you are. You cannot give what you don't have. And learning shows growing. Then R, set time aside every Friday. You do a daily stand-up. Every team should come and tell you, give you feedback, realign strategy where you need to. I wanted to do quick AI, but no, I will just move over to the last part. Thank you so much. The last part is God. It's actually the first part, but I had to put it for the last one. You can take a screenshot of this. This is just a short list of AI tools you can integrate. But what I can do is I'll send a message to everybody who registered here today. I'll send you this slide, okay? Now, this is the main part. I'm almost done. God. Listen. You can set intentions for all you care, and nothing will happen. This is alignment beyond strategy. This is flexibility even in the strategy that you have. We need to recognize the sovereignty of God in all of our plans. While we have worked diligently to build the DOER system, we need to understand the core doer, who is God. Right? It is crucial to acknowledge that our ultimate success and fulfillment comes from being aligned with God's purpose for our life. We are not in control of everything. Our success is not solely on the result of our hard work. There is favor. There is grace. In as much as you say, oh, I want to have 100,000 subscribers. Do you know there's a spirit of publicity that can come upon a man, and in one post, he goes viral. But again, if the person does not have the systems I have spoken in place, the viral moment will just fizzle out. And so while we have set our system, we still need the God who can make that system work. Yeah. So when he opens up a portal of opportunity for you, your system can handle it, can take it, and you can sustain it. So let God give you the strategy blueprint for the year. We are talking about the DOER strategy blueprint. Everything I have said, this is what I'm saying now. If you want to forget everything, forget it. What I'm saying now is God is the one who will give you a strategic blueprint for the year. I want to challenge you today to go beyond just creating plans, to go beyond just creating systems, to go beyond just creating strategies and intentions, and I encourage you to submit all of your journey to God's divine plan, because he wants the very best for you, much more than you want for yourself. Anything you write down, double it, triple it. In fact, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, exceedingly abundantly, even beyond what you expect, you ask or think of. So even your goals is a child's play to where God is. Yes, he wants way more than that for you. But you need to be able to submit it and understand seasons. You also need to be flexible to divine interruption. That even when you have set your strategies and even when you have set your blueprints, you are open to divine interruption, where God can say, remember, this was supposed to be a fizzled class. This was supposed to be a paid master class. But there was a divine interruption that said, no, cancel it. And I was not like, no, I have my strategy. I'm going to do this. I already had a rollout plan, a funnel. I'm going to do this. Cancel and do this. What will happen with the course of this, I don't know. My own is just to obey. Right? And so in our quest to live with purpose, to achieve success, whatever it is, the formula is not in hard work or smart work or system or endless planning. There's a deeper force, there's a deeper call, and that's the will of God. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says that in their hearts, human plan their course, but the Lord establishes their step. Powerful. You can plan your course, but the Lord establishes your step. And one powerful way of doing it is in prayers. Prayers. I have taught you to plan, I've taught you to take action, but it is ultimately God who can give us that energy. You see certain people doing things, it's not because of what is around them or the systems. They have that, there's a baptism of fire on their head that they execute. There's a baptism. And so today, you will go to God in prayer that I want to be a doer. He has given me a name, Doer. I have gotten the baptism for it. Go and get that baptism. Go and get that blueprint. He says, Proverbs says again, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And so you need to stay open to divine interruption. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to end here today. I cannot take questions because of time, but go and reflect. Ask yourself this question: what area of my life do I need to align more closely with God's will? It doesn't have to be the Samuel. You can grow into that, but it doesn't always have to be that. How can I become more flexible and open to God's timing? And you know the painful thing, please, I'm saying this is not an excuse to be lazy. The painful thing is that you have a God on the inside of you and you use it as an excuse to be lazy. No. So I'm not saying because you are waiting on God, you will not do. All right. And so let me not go further. Let's just end it here. I do hope that we had a good time here today. I've come to the end. Yes, I like this. Edioma says, I am a doer. I hear, I plan, I execute, I become. I am given to divine alignment in every area of my life. Oh my God, this is so powerful. So powerful. See, when you operate on this level, you are consistently delivering results. This one is not touch man go, no. And so you are a doer. I'm going to end this here. I was supposed to take a powerful affirmation, but let's wrap it up. Final call. Just go to you can do, you, not YOU, just the letter U. You can do.it. Sign up and join the wait list. I hope that this has been a powerful, eye-opening, destiny shifting conversation today, the Doer blueprint. We'll talk about accountability. Please join the wait list. And also follow me on my Instagram page at Victoria Undu, at the Victoria Undu. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're launching season 3 of Voices of Victoria soon, where we feature in amazing people. So Victoria Undu, just check it on Instagram. Let me stop sharing my screen. Please, if this was valuable, you can just tag me on Instagram or anywhere. Talk about this. Use the hashtag the DOERS blueprint, and let me know what you think. I would be eager. Again, that is what we're talking about, feedback. So I want feedback from you. I would have gotten a form, but you can send me a message specifically how this was helpful to you. Not Undo. This is correct, Victoria, but instead of the O is you. NDU. So you can send me an email. Let me know what you think. I'm rooting for you. And I'll try to make this replay available to only the people that attended. I will make it available so you can watch, rewatch, listen, and I love you so much, everybody. Thank you. Let's call it a night. Yes, Victoria Undo on Instagram. Bye, everybody. You can leave. Let me play my music for 1 minute before I go. Those of you who listened to it before, I'm sure you were blessed.
Son of David, have your way. Have your way, yeah. Arabashia Deve Surahana.